Well, there goes the Daverhood. Good morning, everybody. Welcome on this last Saturday of 2025 to the 1013th episode of the Dave's Gone By Facebookio Podcastio Programmio of the stream with me, Dave Lefkowitz, my darling and wonderful wife, and all of you sitting out there, watching out there, listening out there at home, or wherever you happen to be listening to this long 24-and-a-half-year-old program of the air. Oh, listen. We got the beat, ladies and gentlemen, here on our penultimate show of the year. And so we're so glad to join us. We have, yeah, you know how I think the Johnny Carson show used to have guest appearances by Buddy Rich? We are Buddy Poor. This is our drum set. If you're Gene Krupa, this is Gene Poopa. But it works. We even have a little drum here. Yeah, baby. Some Rolling Stones had Charlie Watts. We have Charlie Watt, but it works. So, ladies and gentlemen, very glad to see you on this Saturday, and you'll have good reasons to stay with us for the next 2 or 3 hours of our weekly program that we live stream on our Facebook page and then archive on davesgoneby.com as well as archive.org. So what are we going to do on this episode of the show? For example, what is the thing that we always do every week, thanks to the auspices of the fine folks at the Greeley Tribune newspaper in northern Colorado? We do.
Oh, the picture of why trees kill.
Who that?
Why trees kill.
Oh, I do. I still have that. I'm almost afraid to touch the paper now. Look how old it got. Our friends in Colorado sent us this a while back. Literally, this is a headline from 2019. A real headline, all the ways that a tree, this is the front page of the paper, all the ways that trees can kill you. And if we haven't shown this in a while, the full page is this.
Wow.
You want to talk about AI, making photos and things that don't exist? They were doing this. It's so genius.
And also the hand is not proportional to the tree. Look at the size of the tree. And the knife is huge for a tree.
What knife? A tree wouldn't have like a little pen knife. A tree would have a real...
I think a tree would use a poison dart. Why would they use a knife? They're more...
Well, if it grew poisonous... I think we're lucky that trees don't grow poisonous. Bushes do.
Some do. I guess some trees are bad.
Well, I mean, the tree of good and evil.
Bird seed?
Sorry?
You look at the bird seed.
Oh, look at the birds today. I think we've been feeding the bird feeder. We have a bird feeder out in our backyard, and we've been trying to be good about it this past week or two because the weather's been icky, and we want birds. Birds don't need to be fed in the summer. There's worms, there's plants, there's growth.
There's Taco Bell. They go to Taco Bell.
They do. And Chipotle.
Drive-through.
Yeah.
Drive-through.
And you know why birds eat at Taco Bell?
Why?
They're cheap.
No, you need the drum.
Oh, the drum for this one? Yeah. Okay. Next time I won't even tell the joke. I'll just send a tweet. Thank you. I'm on it. I'm on it today, all right? So, no, I'm not. But we've been feeding the bird feeder. But the thing we have 2 bird feeders next to each other on the side of our house, and we fill them. It's this long tubular feeder that is purposely designed to keep squirrels from destroying them, which is a wonderful thing. I mean, they've been working. We've had feeders that were pretty or that were nice and cheap-ish, but then we would literally see a squirrel lift the top.
Inside.
Go upside down inside the feeder. And then put his face all the way down in his body, all the way up in the feeder. It's like, okay, and chew away all the plastic. Garbage. Useless. Because, unfortunately, if you don't have a bird feeder that's way up there, away from all branches and leaves of things, where a squirrel literally couldn't climb, you're going to get squirrels. They're going to want to do stuff. But so we don't. Our bird feeder is pretty darn low to the ground, and it's near all our bushes. So squirrels have no problem climbing onto the feeder, knocking at the feeder, getting at the feeder. But at least these feeders are squirrel proofed.
They're pressure weighted, so when the squirrel puts his weight on it, it shuts the feeding area.
Yeah, there's a trap that comes down. You go for it, and you're heavy. It's like, but a little seed will come out. I mean, it's just wobble the thing, but they won't be able to really eat all the seed in there. No. We're saving it for the birds that we get in Maryland, which is sparrows.
And we have the book you could show them.
It's on my desk. Get
it?
If you want to get hung up, yeah. We bought a book when we were in our travels this week, so we could purposely identify some of the birds in our backyard, because there's obvious a male and female cardinal that we've had for a couple of years. We have a blue jay that sometimes makes an appearance, and then just a ton of robins and sparrows and juncos. Those are like the main three. We don't get orioles. We're in Baltimore freaking County. We don't get orioles, but we get robins by the ton, sparrows beyond, and I think a couple more things like finches, maybe a towhee or something like that. So these are the birds that we get in our yard. Honey, it's in my drawer.
I got it. There's a few of the little gray birds outside right there now.
Yeah, those I think are juncos.
Gray ones?
Are they like gray on top with the white on the bottom?
They're all gray. They're like gray and black.
So we actually got birds Maryland and Delaware. And what's nice is I was wondering, why are the pages sort of color coded?
I thought it was for when the seasons. I didn't know it was the cuts.
No, it's like if it's brown, it's a bird that has a mainly brown.
Like gray and black and tiny.
Yeah, gray, black, and tiny.
Yeah.
Could you please stop talking about my penis? Thank you very much. So among them are a ruby-crowned kinglet, which I haven't. You see that in the pet store.
Cute. It's that size, but he doesn't have the red head or the white belly. He's all gray.
Yeah, so we don't see that one. We've probably seen these red-breasted nuthatches.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah.
Looks like a robin, a little bit, right?
A little bit. Well, it's got blue jay coloring and robin shape. Yeah. And the head thing we've seen. We've seen that stripy head thing.
Yeah.
But this also has a stripy head thing. Here's a chickadee. Here's my little chickadee.
I wonder what they are as chickadees.
What do you mean?
The birds that we see, they're just variations of chickadee.
Because a lot of them are similar.
Yeah.
So now you get this. This has some of the similar markings of the head.
No, that's not the one.
But it's also a chickadee.
Yeah,
So we don't get this one. This is a chickadont. Do we get white-breasted nuthatches?
No, he's all gray.
Yeah. My wife usually says that I live in a nuthatch, but that's just me. Here's a yellow-rumped warbler.
Woohoo!
But will you explain to me? So here's a little yellow on his head.
Yeah.
Here's a little yellow below its wing.
Maybe that's what they call the rump.
I guess.
They're different.
I can't. It's not showing his rump really. I don't know. Anywho, here's a different warbler. Excuse me.
They're cute. They're tiny. I like the little tinies.
This is cute. Now here's the thing that I think we do get.
Okay.
This is a dark-eyed junco.
Oh, that wasn't him though, but I've seen.
Oh, wasn't it? Oh, okay.
No.
Maybe we're not getting a junco.
No, not today. That wasn't the one I saw.
Well, it certainly wasn't a tufted titmouse.
Oh no! Wow, look at that head. It looks like a robin. Yeah. I mean, like a cardinal.
Yeah. Now, much as I like, mousy girls with tits, this is not kind of what I'm looking for. Let's try this. Here's a western sandpiper. I wish we saw these.
Oh.
These we've probably seen near the water, if our local park.
That's pretty. I think that's a water bird.
Here's an eastern phoebe.
Oh, that's pretty.
Isn't that nice?
That's a pretty one.
But I don't.
Here, let me look through.
Yeah, please.
Maybe it's one of the ones. What's the little birds you saw first?
Well, we're trying to look for gray ones or sparrows, which are.
What's the one? Oh, wow, catbird. I wish we could see that.
There we got robins. We're not getting plovers.
Dove.
Well, doves are going to be sort of whitish gray. Maybe that's in a different.
I think these are getting bigger now.
Oh yeah, now she's on to geese.
Oh, hummingbirds.
Hummingbirds we've had. Rarely,
I think
but
it's
we
a
will.
derivation of that little bird you showed me first, the cardinal, not cardinal,
Which was it? The nuthatch?
I think it's either some form of sparrow.
Well,
I
yeah.
think it's a sparrow. It's these guys.
Oh,
you
yeah, we
see.
get a ton of
Oh, they're
sparrows.
so cute.
Yeah. And there's Providence in the fall of one of
Yeah,
them. by the
look,
way.
it says that
Yeah.
there are many subspecies of this bird, but the dark spot in the center of the chest appears. He's cute. I bet it's a sparrow.
Mm.
But it might not be a song sparrow.
Yeah, there's probably 12 different sparrows or something. Or
Oh, they're great.
me and my sparrow. Do, 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 do. So, is it okay if I comment on that?
No.
There was some noise in the background, ladies and gentlemen, that we will not discuss. Wow, that was great. But we fill our bird feeder, right? And I swear, we filled it
It's empty.
late in the afternoon yesterday, like before it got dark. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Probably a deer or somebody.
That's what we have deer. Do we have deer?
What?
We know that we have deer
Yes.
because all by the 2 bird feeders,
Yes.
we have so much shit.
Feces.
And I'm not being, I'm not using a euphemism. Well, it won't be a euphemism. Okay.
Feces.
I'm actually, there's nuggets and nuggets and nuggets and nuggets of deer crap. And it's right near the feeders. So they're going to the feeders. They say, I guess they eat seed. Why they would, I don't know.
The deer's a vegetarian, right? Aren't they?
They probably are, but they're going to
If
eat
you're
leaves.
on, I
And
want to see if you're live.
what are you looking for? The birds?
Your phone.
Oh,
Your
here.
pocket. It's in your
Yeah, it's in my pocket. But yeah, we get deer even this time of year, and it's obvious where they congregate. They are probably the ones because we will fill a feeder, and by the next morning, it will be either half gone or in an hour all the way gone. Filled to like
But the
nothing.
birds are still eating it, so that's good.
Yeah,
And
tiny
that
little
makes me
birds.
happy. Well, and also the what do you call them? The robin? Not the robin. Who's the other one?
The cardinal. We love the cardinal. He's beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's kind of worth it to go through a bag of seed in a week because
Well, we bought the cheaper seed, but they seem to still like it.
yeah.
I mean, we used to get when there was Best Buy. We used to get Best Buy seed. They like that.
Well, it wasn't called. It was not Best Buy, the electronics place. It was called whatever.
Rock Bottom?
Yeah, it was a rock bottomy
They
kind
eat
of place.
They ate that too. Ours are not discerning.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you give them McDonald's, they'll eat McDonald's. If you give them Le Cirque, they'll eat Le Cirque. You know, we're giving them for a while because this is what we would buy at our supermarket, a medium to high quality bird thing that was good for brain health.
Medium to high quality.
It was brain health bird food. Like we're feeding birds that aren't doing anything for us except shitting on the car. And yet it's like, yeah, let's make them smarter. Let's build strong bones.
For brain health, we got brain health when they
Yeah.
did that. Yeah.
And now we're like, you know what? They eat so much of it, and the deer are probably knocking through so much of it out of the feeder and eating that. We don't really need to do the high quality bird seed anymore. If the birds get a little bit dumber, it's not going to affect us. It's not going to, change the property values of our house like the school district. It's like they're birds. As long as they're smart enough not to fly into windows, or walls, depending on how dumb they are. As long as they remain birds following bird behavior and stay cute and beautiful, I will feed them maybe not the most perfect bird food ever. It's good enough bird food. It's seed. Yeah, that's all we're not giving them, byproducts. Not giving them ground up animal parts. Although I figure they would love insects. Comes to think of it, they would probably really dig insects. Oh, my wife is showing me a picture of. Oh my God.
That's in your feed. It's like interested, not interested.
Oh my God. Oh my
That's
God.
your bird seed.
I'm gonna have to cross my legs from getting a hard on, ladies
That's
and gentlemen,
bird
because
seed for you.
look at this. I don't think that's cream. This came up in my Facebook feed.
Yeah.
Save the deli. Giant. I mean, these are not compared to Katz's and not compared to some of the others, but these are a nice sized pastrami sandwich with two half sour pickles and Dr. Brown's, but that is Dr. Brown's. Oh, it's draft style root beer.
No.
If it were the cream soda or the celery, this would be the ultimate Jewish moment here on Dave's Gone By or in my Facebook feed. Like I wonder what like a bird's feed. Okay, it was a bird seed feed. They just scroll through. There's pictures of different kinds of things they can eat. You know.
We could try different. So far, every seed we put out, they eat.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know what they wouldn't. We can maybe fill the feeder with like, I don't know, rice cereal or something.
Yeah.
What are they? Not Cocoa Puffs. What are they
No,
called?
I don't know. I think we could look. Well, maybe we go to Walmart and we get like a. But I don't want to get a bag we can't lift. But let's try Walmart seed. That's
A 10-pound bag we can make. A 20-pound bag will end up spilling.
They ate from Rock Bottom.
Yeah, it wasn't even called. What the hell was it called? It was Odd Lots.
Job lots.
Something like that.
Something like that. Yeah, but let's see if they eat from. Maybe we'll try Walmart next time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Because I love seeing the birds. It's nice to fill and help them. But we were kind of hoping when we started filling the bird feeders that you fill it on a Monday and then refill it on a Friday. Well, if you had to. And then, because, a bird, it's a tiny little friggin' sparrow bird. How much can it eat? It goes, dook, like 3 seeds you figure is a meal.
It could also mean there are a lot of them. I've seen a lot on the ground. There are those little gray.
I could have hundreds. Okay, I would get. If we had hundreds I would love it. If we had hundreds of little birds flying around, but we barely get even like at a time 6 to a dozen, right? And a feeder this size, 2 of them together, and within a night, gone. So I don't know. I have no idea. I'm wondering if, there are people who do those stuck together seed cake things. Like
they could still eat that.
It's like they do, but maybe it lasts longer.
No, I don't think so. I think the deer could just chew it and take it off like a brownie. He could, just take it like a brownie, I think.
You're right. You're absolutely right. Yeah. Like it's like a bit of honey. They just go, yeah. So if you have any idea, if you have any suggestions or thoughts of how to make our bird seed last a bit longer so that the birdhouse doesn't put us in the poorhouse, send your comments and suggestions to davesgoneby@aol.com.
We go to the Walmart seed, and we get some Walmart stuff.
Yeah. But again, I can't measure 20 pounds.
We can get a smaller bag and see, if we like it.
Instead of paying like $12 a bag for bird seed, maybe $6 a bag. All right, so you go through a bag in 2 or 3 days. It's okay. Happy to help agriculture, especially this time of year. We did apparently dodge a bullet. I'm not sure what the weather was overnight and right now into New York and New Jersey. We were bracing for bit of snow here and snow and rain, but we just got cold rain and a bit of sleet last night. So I always make fun, since we started living in Maryland 3.5 years ago, I would get on the show on Saturday mornings and look out the window and it would be gray and dismal and raining. And I would tell everybody, honestly, that the whole rest of the week the weather was lovely. That, we've gotten very often sunshiny, nice weather out here in Maryland. But every time I get on the show, every Saturday, that's when the weather would change. It would just be grim and gray and horrible, horrible weather. But this time I can say, yes, it's grim, it's raining, it's icky outside, but, I don't have to get the shovel out. So win-win. My wife is showing me, this is a thing from The Onion.
You told me the other one.
Well, this is Onion is knowingly fake. It's not slop. Onion is satirical comedy, parody. TV network refuses to air Miracle on 34th Street for outdated depictions of hope and joy. Kind of beautiful.
And tell me what you taught me yesterday.
Well, we were talking, I'm not sure if this is the whole truth and nothing but the truth, but
Want me to look it up? I'll look it up.
There's, because my wife asked me a couple of days ago about
Removing music from It's a Wonderful Life.
I'm not sure how it came up, but if you watch,
Find the original music on most streaming services of It's a Wonderful Life because they often replace the soundtrack with public domain music. To
Right.
hear the real music, look for official Blu-rays, DVDs, or specific broadcasts that have the authentic score.
so my wife had asked me about this thing And I told her, like, when there are, if you're watching on Amazon Prime or even Turner Network, when they have reruns of dramedies and because of that sitcoms and because of procedurals from the 80s and 90s, they'll show their show, but they'll replace
You told me that they
the music under it because they might have used a song, a brand new song maybe at the time, because they're typed by a well-known artist, a well-known composer. And now if the network wanted to run the reruns of that show, they've got to cough up like $30,000 every time it runs because not of the show itself, but the music rights, which they don't have, the publishing and the ASCAP and BMI and because of the performance rights. And so, networks have deep pockets, but not that deep. And they're like, you know what, hell with it. We'll get some composer, we'll pay him $500 to write some underscoring, and instead of that song, we'll use another one, or we'll use an older song.
That's what it says. Some networks do with Wonderful Life.
Yeah. Well, here's the deal. One of the controversies that's going on, and the New York Post picked up on it literally 2 or 3 days after you asked me this.
Yeah.
The Post picked up on a story that Amazon Prime is showing one of the more beloved holiday films of all time, It's a Wonderful Life. The Frank Capra. If they have it, yeah. I mean, I haven't seen it
might be taken out
in years. This time of year, maybe. We'll probably watch it on archive.org. But it's it's a classic, beloved Frank Capra film.
But I want the real music. I don't want a dub.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Well, it's worse than just the underscoring. That's the deal.
Yeah.
The original It's a Wonderful Life runs 2 hours and 10 minutes. Fairly longish film. Donna Reed, what's his name?
Fred Murray? No.
Oh, Jimmy Stewart. Jimmy Stewart, of course. And what's his name? I just saw him in Mrs. Miniver. The guy who plays the angel, Clarence. So he's...
I wonder if my friend's husband was named after the angel.
Clarence?
Yeah.
Maybe.
I wonder.
Yeah. So even if you may have not seen It's a Wonderful Life or all of it in years and years and years. Probably remember some of it.
It's a cultural reference point for me.
Absolute cultural touchstone because it was one of those shows in the 1970s, 80s, 90s when people were watching still either cable television or network TV, where a network we're playing It's a Wonderful Life, 24/7 on Christmas Eve. This will be our either Twilight Zones that they do on New Year's Day or.
But they can't marathon and it's one show.
Yeah, they'll show it over and over again.
Oh, I see. Okay, yeah.
You walk in, they do that now with A Christmas Story sometimes. Oh, really? The very funny Gene Shepard based film. But so that's It's a Wonderful Life, and you know the story about George Bailey, and he's a beloved figure in the town. He's a very Gregory Peckish kind of great guy. Everybody likes him, but he gets on the wrong side of bankers, and then they start trying to bring him down in all sorts of ways. And he becomes, Capra. Everybody thinks, Capra corn and everything's sweetness and light and whatever. No, he's about to commit suicide. Yeah. Things go very, very wrong in his life that he cannot control. But then there's a sequence when an angel shows him, he's, I wish I was never born. And an angel shows him, if you were never born, this is what the town would be like without you. And, it's a sad place, it's this place, it's that. And he learns and he realizes his value. He realizes, I'm going to come back. And of course, there's this great happy ending, and Clarence gets his wings. It's lovely. So, people love this film. And it ends on Christmas, so it's a Christmas movie, blah, blah, blah. If you watch the movie, allegedly on Amazon Prime, you're not seeing the 2 hour and 20...
It says it in the article.
Yeah. You're not watching the 2 hour and 10 minute version of the film. You are watching the 1 hour and 50 minute version of the film. Which I understand also, I grew up in an era, my wife grew up, a lot of people grew up in an era, if you watched movies on commercial network television, they would cut for time. They would cut for commercial. They would shoehorn a 1 hour and 55 minute movie into a 2 hour time slot, but to make room for the commercials, they cut 10 minutes here and there and just snip and change. But this is okay.
Not major parts, though.
They snip here, they snip a scene.
Major plot line,
Yeah, but this is not network commercial television 1977. This is now on a streaming service, on a cable service too, I guess. No, streaming. So holiday viewers were left furious after discovering Amazon Prime Video had chopped 22 minutes
Oh, wow.
from Frank Capra's iconic 1946 film, and most importantly, well, not most, a Scorsese or anybody from AFI would go like any minute from a masterpiece, but 22 minutes. The way they did this was cutting out the entire sequence when George sees what the town would be like without him.
That's the whole point of the film.
Yes! I'm not making this up. So he goes from being suicidal to Clarence saying, don't be suicidal. Okay. It makes no sense.
Who noticed it?
Well, anybody who knows the movie would know. The decades-long staple pulls in millions of viewers every Christmas season, with 4.7 million people tuning
They
in.
pay for that. They're paying for Prime.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Amazon Prime is not free. Yeah.
Yeah, someone gave you Prime so you can get your fish.
My fish. Now I'm...
Somebody let you use their Prime account so you could get your buy one, get one salmon.
Oh, that is true. We talked about this last week, or did we? No, it was this week. All right, I'll get back to this. But it was very, very nice. We were at Whole Foods, or as it has been called, Whole Wallet, just because we were in another town and poking around. There's a Whole Foods there. I grabbed a couple of things. And everyone's saying, Whole Foods does have some good deals and good food. So they had a special.
We had snacked on cheese and olives throughout the store. And you love the date cracker.
Yeah. They had so many things. There's so many little samples around the store.
Apple too.
Yeah. Tell.
No, you had some.
You could literally. It was stupid of us to have lunch before going to shop at Whole Foods, because we could have eaten enough just from like one sample at each of the like 8 sample tables around the store. Trader Joe's sometimes has one little thing they give you. Whole Foods is like, here, have it there. Figs on brie on a cracker.
Yeah, that was good.
There was a thing of olives. I don't like olives, but they had a thing of olives. They had
different kind of cheese.
Oh my God, an apple,
You had an apple slice.
I was full and getting fuller just by snacking around the Whole Foods. But they also had, and I was almost shocked to see it, smoked salmon, Nova kind of locks, high quality, and a thing that was special of 2 for 1. So, like when it's on regular price, it's like $2.50 an ounce, which is what salmon is, yeah. But 2 for 1, it's actually a really good deal for smoked salmon. So I grabbed a pair of them. And we get on the checkout line, and there's this, nondescript cashier saying, no, you can't. I was like, why not? You're not Whole Food members.
No, Amazon Prime.
Why would it be Amazon Prime members?
Because Amazon Prime is linked to Whole Foods. They're linked.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we're not Amazon Prime. Wouldn't you know, and this is just before the holidays, wouldn't you know there's a woman right before us on the checkout line who apparently is an Amazon Prime customer, and she was like, she just held up her phone.
No, she said, can they use mine? And the girl's like, why not? And she's like, okay, use mine.
She did. And she held up her phone. Yes. The checkout lady was a girl.
Yes.
Scanned the thing. And we got a coupon that essentially we weren't entitled to because we're not Amazon Prime customers. Although I don't remember seeing that on the thing on the... It did? Yeah. It's an Amazon Prime member?
You don't read it on your glasses.
No, because I see 2 for 1. Like...
You were high on all the samples. Yeah. Your blood sugar was going through something.
I was so like, snack. Plus, the Jew in me strips away all the small print.
So funny.
2 for 1.
You were like, this fig jelly is good with cheese on a cracker.
Yeah.
You became a wasp in a minute.
I became someone who shops at Whole Foods and doesn't have to look at the price tag. It's like, I want this. Whatever it is. Yeah. Whatever.
But at least they didn't cut out 22 minutes of your salmon.
They did not. They did, and I had part of it. No, let me read the...
read it and see.
So getting back to the story of It's a Wonderful Life, they've... how did we get into Whole Foods from that? How did we get there?
Amazon Prime.
Amazon Prime. Thank you. So if you have Amazon Prime, fans were left scratching their heads this year. I guess they didn't do it before. realizing they had been served an abridged cut of the film.
It didn't say it? Wow.
Thousands of outraged viewers,
It should have given people the option saying this film has been edited for, music, whatever.
which they always used to do
Yeah, why don't they
on
do
network
that?
TV.
Yeah.
They would say this film has been for language
Edited
or
for space or
yeah.
time, right?
The sequence encapsulates the point of the film, blah, blah, blah. Where's the rest of the story? Well, let's get to the underlying message. No man is a failure who has friends makes the movie's turning point, proving that Bailey's quiet impact is more than enough to be loved and remembered. So, without that scene, blah, 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 come on. But here comes the reasoning. It's a complicated legal thing of why it isn't, they're not chopping it for a time slot.
No,
right?
no.
Or
for streaming, they don't care.
Or naughty language. Donna Reed doesn't show her boobs. It's nothing like that.
No.
It has to do with
Music, you said music.
well, all a lot of copyright stuff. So it was loosely based on a short story by Philip Van Doren Stern.
Okay.
I wonder if he's not the guy from the cheating scandals, but anyway, the film getting there, folks. Stern locked down the copyright for a short story and renewed it in 1971 before he died. Mm-hmm. Licensed is now with his daughters, his family. Playwright Jason LeBlanc, who works with Stern's estate, says the writer's family set up a corporation to manage the rights to his work. 1974, the film copyright expired. Republic Pictures, which owned it, they could have renewed it. They didn't.
Why not?
A clerical error. They made a clerical error.
Oh, that's a big error.
And for 50 years, the film was in public domain, which is another reason you see it everywhere.
Yeah.
So for nearly
apparently not.
Well, you don't see all of it. You see
Yeah.
everywhere. But the copyright expiration turned out to be a lucky break. The films flopped initially in theaters and had been almost forgotten. But because so many television stations had this free film they could show, and everybody wanted, they showed it. It was free. They could say whenever they wanted to, as often as they wanted to. In 1993, Republic Pictures, which had at that, I didn't know they were still around at that point, later bought by Paramount. It's amazing how tangled these things
We
get.
saw that show. I don't know if we ever watched it about the early
movie
industry
makers.
and everybody,
Yeah. But they sent letters to broadcasters claiming they had the copyright to the film because they said stations could no longer air it for free because the story and the music now required a proper license.
Wow.
Distributors thought they could dodge the short story copyright because it was different from, it's a movie, different in a lot of ways from the story. But the music becomes a problem. See, Amazon streams both versions, but with confusing labels. Unbelievable. Was that the end of it?
Here, I'll find it.
It would be nice if they had a nice...
I'll give it on AI here.
Yeah. Anyway, it has to do with the story copyright and the music copyright or something like that. I guess if you label the film, if you colorize it, tell the world you colorized it.
What's the copyright issue with It's a Wonderful Life on Amazon Prime?
Yeah.
The copyright situation for It's a Wonderful Life is complex. While the film itself entered the public domain,
My thumb destroyed it. Oh. Nope, it's gone.
Okay. What do you
They should make phones with side things.
Public domain issue with It's a Wonderful Life on Amazon Prime.
They should make it so that you hand someone a phone and they take it from you. They can hold it without changing what you're actually trying to show.
People don't have that problem, David. I've never met anyone else but you.
Rights to the music.
Glasses?
Oh yeah, rights to the musical score were held separately.
Okay.
Yeah, the Pottersville sequence was cut to avoid story and music rights, but there's now a backlash over being mislabeled. People are watching an incomplete film without knowing
If you
it.
never saw the film before, you wouldn't get the plot.
Right.
It would be like having the.
It's like watching Inception.
No,
Yeah.
it's like watching the thing where you have the three ghosts come, your Christmas present, past, and future, and they cut the ghost sequence.
Yeah, right.
Like, ah!
Christmas Future's gone. He has a horrible past, and then he wakes up and he's like, "Ho! Where's the turkey in the window? Go get it, boy!" It was like, what happened? So, yeah, the story, the short story, and the film's musical score were never fully released into the public domain.
Wow.
Still, because we talked about this also when the great, wonderful genius Tom Lehrer, a couple of years before he died, released all his music into the public domain. And I'm assuming, I'm guessing that includes the recorded performances, but he was on Warner Reprise for 2 of his major albums. Can you just play those? And I'm guessing you can. I guess those are in PD. Maybe he worked out a thing with Warner Chappell, whoever. But, it's one thing that I can play a song anywhere and give the song to an artist and record it, or to use the original with the orchestrations, mind-boggling. And let the lawyers sort this out. They're the ones who'll make the money.
To see if our library has it.
Well, I'm sure they'll have a copy. Whether it's in at the moment, I don't know. But yeah, it's a classic film. And so, if you've watched It's a Wonderful Life a couple of days ago, and you had no idea what the hell was going on, that's the real. I wonder if they're doing things to The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel after the first. They have to replace music in that or something. I don't know. Anywho, do they have it? If they don't, we could, watch a different holiday or New Year's movie, like appropriate, like Putney Swope or Mondo Cane.
Cookbook of them.
A cookbook, George Bailey cookbook.
Platinum Anniversary Edition.
Oh, there you go. That will have every minute.
2 video discs.
It'd be great if they had cutscenes, like Clarence the Angel going, fuck.
There are 8 holes on it, wow.
Well, this time of year, yeah. Well, if we rent it in August, it should be available.
They have the plain one.
Yeah.
Is it by O'Dell? Who's Tom O'Dell?
I don't know, it's like a book about It's a Wonderful Life?
Yeah, it's different. We can't get it.
Well, we can get it eventually. We can put out a thing on it. But everybody wanted it. Half the world was watching It's a Wonderful Life 2 nights ago. Okay. Well, I hope they got the good version. If you have the uncut version of Hercules in New York, that's some fine watching right there. That's a holiday movie.
The plain one, not the 2-disc set.
Well, the second disc is just going to be commentary and, here's an old interview with Jimmy Stewart, and here he is on Carson talking. Yeah. No, as opposed to some things where they'll have, sometimes I'll rent from our library and things, these deluxe editions of classic foreign films, and literally you can watch the movie and then, if you have the time and energy, rewatch, and the entire soundtrack is the commentary of some film expert, which is great, but I just, when I was teaching film, it was important. Right now, not. But it's a great thing. You suddenly have this great Kurosawa expert or an expert on Bergman weighing in and giving background and information and historical stuff and saying, notice how this camera motion will have affect it. It's great for film theorists and real film insiders. I'm usually they'll collect maybe like short films made by this filmmaker before they became famous. So you won't see this anywhere else except on YouTube or Vimeo. Wow. We live in a pretty damn great time if you are a cineast. Not in terms of maybe the movies that are currently being made in Hollywood and by the big studios and so forth, but in terms of going back and being able to see a world of 130 years of cinema. It's a pretty spectacular time. Your average anybody can sit at home with one little button and a streaming thing and suddenly be like, oh, I'm going to watch 4 Snub Pollard comedies and compare them to comedies of the 1930s with Charlie Chase or whatever. Pretty great stuff. Anywho, where are we? It's like 20 to 10 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. You're watching Dave's Gone By with me, Dave Lefkowitz, and my darling and wonderful wife. It's our 1013th episode of the program. We're calling it Haas-afire. Get it? Haas-afire. Because our guest in the Daverhood, in a little while, is the actor and fine singer Darius de Haas. He's been on Broadway in a few shows. He also has a lot of recordings out. In fact, he's got a brand new, what else does anybody release this time of year? It's a Christmas disc. He's got a Christmas CD or stream. It's a CD and a stream thing. It's probably on vinyl too, called Let Me Carry You This Christmas. And so it seems that song, which came out as a single weeks ago, and I was on a whole longer Christmas album. He was just playing at 54 Below a couple of weeks ago, and he will be playing in a place near you, probably, over the next year. So yes, Darius de Haas will be joining us in the Daverhood, talking to Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And speaking of Rabbi Sol Solomon, I just did not have time to help him this week. He's been working on a brand new final rabbinical reflection for 2025. He does this every year. It's kind of this year-end roundup and wrap-up, and also a farewell to a lot of the notables who passed over the year gone by. And he's working on it. He's pretty much got it written out, but he hasn't performed it. He hasn't taped it yet. So that we're going to have to save until our New Year's show, which is coming this week. This Wednesday night into Thursday, we will be doing our New Year's mini spectacular. We're going to keep it quiet this year. It's not going to be some big, it'll be more of a homey little affair event. But it will have Rabbi Sol's rabbinical reflection. But we went back, and I think this is going to be fun. We went back and got Rabbi Sol's reflection from last year, last December, right around this time. Because he sort of
Did he make
predictions and thoughts about that year and what might be coming up this year.
Oh, wow.
And the folks that we lost the year before. So it's kind of like a fascinating, like, oh my God, this is where our heads were at 12 months ago. And it's kind of that, like, ooh, let's...
Will there be parts edited out for music rights?
There's a klezmer, a snatch of klezmer, as opposed to a klezmer of snatch, which is the Klesbians. But, yes. Oh, no, it was Isle of Klesbos. That was there. So, there may have been a second of him humming something that we, not so much because of copyright issues, but because you don't really want to hear Rabbi Sol sing. So, but otherwise, it's intact. So we will hear Rabbi Sol's from 12 months ago, Rabbinical Reflection number 190, his Rabbinical Reflection from last year, and kind of give us sort of a sense of where we thought we were headed a year ago in this world. And then for Wednesday night, we will have a brand new Rabbinical Reflection from the Rebbe going over to 2025, and also the folks that we lost this year. So you don't want to miss either of those. Anywho, also on this episode of the program, we've got our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Chester, Colorado. Yes, there's a place, Chester, Colorado. I've written a poem about it that I shall share with thee. And also, as if that weren't enough, and by gosh, don't you think it ought to be, as David Letterman would say, we will have the return of Dave's Big Dick, Shaneri, to the show today. Because we've been doing a lot of story time for the holiday for Hanukkah.
The word of the year.
Oh, is there a word of the year? Well, it's slop, isn't it?
Yeah.
We did that last week, though.
Oh, you want word of the day?
Yeah,
Okay, hold on.
because we talked about slop last week.
Merriam-Webster Dictionary word of the day. Oh, you're going to love it.
Oh boy. So let me write it down.
Okay.
Later in the show, my job will be to talk extemporaneously off the top of this old noggin about a word I've not prepared anything for. And Merriam-Webster Dictionary has chosen it.
That's your
Oh,
favorite word.
it's one of my favorite,
Yes.
especially because I love synergy
Yes,
and
yes.
things that are, I don't know if you can see that, apropos.
Yes.
Put this, apropos. Lovely word, and kind of apropos for this time of year. So I'm going to, as later in the show, talk
Want to show your foodies?
randomly about the word, whatever brings to my mind, whatever will be apropos to the word apropos, I will appropriately talk about in the segment Dave's Big Dictionary. And we may even do Bunion Watch. How's that for excitement? Bunion Watch 2, all on this very episode of the show. So here I am looking kind of good, looking kind of hip. This is when we went for the first time. We've been living in Maryland now for 3.5 years, and we've seen a few local towns. Like I don't drive on highways, and I don't like to go. I like to go far afield, but I don't drive on highways, which makes it difficult. But we do a little spaziering, as my family would say. So we went to a place hadn't been before called Mount Washington. Ooh, some mountains there, but it's called.
That's where you got the Whole Foods with the lady who gave you the.
Right, we were talking about this. We're in this town. We decided, hey, let's find the restaurant we haven't been to. Let's be a little adventurous. And where is it? And it's sort of in the same direction that we usually go, just a little further. Great.
We thought it was more toward the city, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it was city, also Pikesville.
Yeah.
And Pikesville we know.
But it was. I still don't understand the geography. Okay.
So Mount Washington part of Mount Washington is kind of in Pikesville, and part of it is in northern Baltimore City. So it's this cool area, ritzy-titsy, high sort of, mostly. Well, yeah, kind of.
I've never heard you say that.
I've never said ritzy-titsy?
No.
I've never said ritzy-titsy?
No, I've never heard that.
Oh my God, yeah. You know, like a little bit upper class, whitey white.
It's like Mount Airy. I mean, it's like Chestnut Hill in Philly.
Yeah. So a little bougie. You would say bougie.
Yeah.
You know, my people would say ritzy titsy. We're 19. Oh, it's a ritzy titsy place. You're like, oh, it's bougie.
Oh, you Paul in.
So we go to this really tasty restaurant. Would you call it a scratch kitchen or more of a?
It's like a gourmet place. The way that I think one of my colleagues told me about it, but I don't know. I think they told me because when I say the bathroom, what do I say?
Loo.
And then,
Right,
yeah,
yes.
so that's why they told me. They said you need to go there because they have loo on the bathroom door, and we know that they have scones. We had a good scone,
Right?
Because the woman and the husband have spent time in the UK, so their food is influenced by UK cooking.
Yeah. Which, yes, there is such a thing as good UK cooking.
Yes,
Who knew?
I know.
Who knew? No, because they do have things there like treacle, and they have
Yes.
stuff like black pudding and.
Yes, well, we had a scone. We had a rosemary and chocolate chip scone. It was delicious.
And the place was packed, friggin'
my
packed.
God, packed.
And there we ate outside. It was just
Show them your.
pleasant enough to we could eat outside. And there's the truck behind me of the corner pantry delivery truck.
Yes.
So it was.
I'll find you. There's a picture of you with your dish.
Oh yeah, hold on. Here it is. Here it is. This is me showing off my food. So yeah, it was a short rib with veggies, and it was very,
It was
very
with
nice.
kimchi. I looked it up. That
Wasn't
cabbage was kimchi in there.
In it really was good.
It was
Let's see if we can
kimchi.
show it.
I looked it up. It was kimchi.
Didn't taste because there was a sweet
Yes.
sauce.
Your beard. It looks great. That's kimchi, baby.
What's that on my what? What have a cancerous spot? Oh no, that's the camera lens. Look, I had a spot on my chin. I was like, oh my God, I gotta have that biopsy. What the hell is that?
Here, let me-
But anyway, sorry about the throat here. But had a very nice time in the corner pantry.
It was nice because outside they had heaters, so you could still eat outside.
Yeah, it was very, very nice. And we weren't kidding about the town being bougie, ritzy, titsy.
Oh, yeah.
It was one of those places that had, for a couple of decades, racial covenants.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
When real estate people would steer people to various
I didn't know that.
no, I looked it up yesterday when I was looking for stuff. But they actually serve, and you probably want to try this at the corner pantry, Welsh rarebit. You've heard of it? Welsh rarebit, they have it.
Rabbit?
Well, it's supposed to sound like rarebit, but it is sort of a mocking of the English. It's actually just cheese sauce on bread. But it's called Welsh. I always thought it was a Welsh version of preparing a rabbit. It's not. It's just a cheesy, bready sort of a thing.
It can't be bad.
Yeah. And they have scones and they even have crumpets. And besides the hot women who work there, I mean, they actually have. Thank you ever so much. But they really do. They have crumpets there, so we gotta go back there.
Yeah.
It was crowded as hell, but no, it wasn't. Well, when you're in there,
It was just the thing is, I think for most people, like there were a lot of people in a small area talking, and then when we got the coffee to go, there was a girl saying to her mother or grandmother, she's like, "We've been sitting here 20 minutes," and I felt like telling her, "Go to the counter and order, and they'll bring it." And
Yeah.
she did. I didn't say it, but she figured it out. Yeah.
yeah. So you gotta go, I guess, in more fallow times, not right around the holidays. But it was good. We also got to go a container of soup that was really yummy. It was a curried something soup.
Parsnip?
Yes,
Parsnip?
parsnip curry soup. And again, me with my background with my eyes, I'm like, it's a soup for $10. And then we go to another store like a day ago, some other non-bougie store, and it was $10 for a thing of soup. It's fucking soup. It's water with flavor. So as expensive as they were, it's not off the charts in terms of what, things cost nowadays. It's just, it is what it is. So, but it was good. The soup was really nice. It's just the other day, we were like, oh, where's the leftover soup? I mean, what leftover soup? We ate it. It was not even a quart. It was like a pint and a half of soup. It's gone. It was yummy. I slurped it down, I gorged it, it was gone.
It was the Amazon Prime version. They cut out some of the soup.
And the joke of the day goes to my darling and amazing and wonderful wife. Yeah.
This was not apropos of anything.
Oh. And at least it wasn't for the birds.
Where's the joke with the joke? I don't see the jokes of the...
Oh, the dad joke button is probably in there somewhere.
It's a big box, though. I don't
Oh,
see
then it's in the thing over there somewhere. I also have this button. Are we going to have even more fun on this program?
Wonderful idea.
Do we have Darius de Haas coming, who's going to be talking to Rabbi Sol about all these fun stories and things?
Whatever you say.
Here we go. Look at this. We also have this button because I cannot, novelty for me is I need jokes, I need ridiculous, stupid, silly things. Even if they give me a laugh once, it's kind of worth it to just have it. But here we go. It's the aquarium in me, I guess.
It's a laugh of here on this You like that one? I don't know why. It's a Channel 13 show.
Was it actually called that?
Yes.
But my wife uses this all the time. Not all. She pulls it out just at the right moment. So we have the dad joke button.
Give me your phone.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to find it for you.
When something happens that triggers me in a weird way, my wife will say, "A laugh, a tear, a mitzvah."
I think it was a show on PBS.
I'm sure it was. Was that the actual? Yeah.
What's the show? A laugh, a tear, a mitzvah. Hold on. Show called A Laugh, a Tear, and a Mitzvah.
Here we go. This program.
I didn't make it up.
This is the year before we got married. 1997 PBS television special and accompanying film called A Laugh, a Tear, a Mitzvah. It's a documentary celebrating Jewish culture and the Jewish American experience in the United States. The program has various images, including a photo of renowned, I don't know why, a photo of renowned actor and comedian Fivish Finkel, who was a guest on this program before he died, by the way. A laugh, a tear. Let's see that. Here's Fivish. Here's the image that they used of him back, I guess, in his post-Yiddish theater days. This is probably when he was on Broadway in like Cafe Crown or something. But look, I've just hit my sound button there. Very, very cool. Very cool. A laugh, a tear, a mitzvah.
I didn't make it up. It's a
No, I know that, but it's such a great line that you always keep using. And I love it. I love it. Here's another great line.
I've got this awful disease where I can't stop telling airport jokes. The doctor says it's terminal.
One more.
One more dad joke from the dad joke button, ladies and gentlemen. Because, it's been such a wretched year. The more jokes we make.
3 years ago, my doctor told me I was going deaf. I haven't heard from him since.
Get it? Because I haven't heard from him. Heard because he's deaf, you can't hear. Anywho, our 1013th episode of the Dave's Gone By show. We did start back in October of 2022. Sorry. October of 2002, which means that we've been on the air almost 25 years now, which is an amazing, amazing thing. We thank you for all your support. We do remind you that our archives are at davesgoneby.com, DAVESGONEBY.com, which means you can listen to the very first episode we ever did. It's an hour long. We did it on WGBB AM radio.
Oh my God.
Was it 10 o'clock or 11 o'clock at night on a Sunday? Yeah, back in fall of 2002. We have it. We saved it. The second episode, alas, is lost to history, but the third through almost every one we've done since has been saved and salvaged. And back in, I think it was 2017, we began recording these on video as well. And then we started doing the video streaming that we've been doing on Facebook for the past few years. So it's been kind of fun. I've been going through the older episodes and looking at them and seeing, basically, I haven't, at least since we've been doing the video show, I have not changed, except this has gotten, I still have some black in the beard, but I started a bit blacker here. There's more of my beard was dark, and more of my hair was dark.
Yeah.
But other than that, I really have not changed a whole bunch at all. And I guess it's now 8 years that we've been doing the show as a video. So I guess I should be grateful. If you're looking for things to be grateful for at the end of a year, that's one of them. Then, I got both the arms here, both hands, both feet. As a matter of fact, this might be a good time to do Bunion. Oh. As much as AI is filled with slop and things, this is coming officially from Gilbert Gottfried's Facebook feed, even though he's been dead for 3 years. But someone put this up. Gilbert, the foul-mouthed Jewish snowman. Yeah. Yes. Ladies and gentlemen. So let's do it. Because I've been having some minor annoying foot problems over the past 2 or 3 weeks where, I would come down on my left foot and feel like, whoa, that's not a knee thing, but like just around my toe and my bunion area. And I'm like, that's not nice. And I've shown you my bunions. This week, as my family was saying, halavai, knock wood, it's that. I don't want to give a kanaya hura, but this week, my foot's been fine. Totally fine. Totally fine. Get it? There's a little toe joke there. So, I'm going to share my bunion with you on Bunion Watch, just so you can see for yourselves the quality, the condition, the size, the shape, the texture, the smell, if you will, and you will, of my bunion.
Corn Van Bunion, big as be satisfied to throw. When a
Here's my right
gets
foot.
evil, they ain't no use to frown. When a cone gets evil, they ain't no use to frown. Trim it with a razor, go home and file it down.
And by the way, speaking of public domain, that we can actually play that. That's Willie Jackson with Corn and Bunion Blues from the New Orleans Willie Jackson. Oh, that's his full thing. It's New Orleans Willie Jackson Corn and Bunion Blues here on Dave's Gone By. So as you can see, I kept them in my socks because it's kind of chilly at the moment. But you can see the fine quality, condition, and shape of my butt. Do you want to show your bunion, hon?
No.
Like a holiday bunion thing?
No, I don't want to show my bunion.
You sure you don't want to show your bunions? They're cute. No? No? Oh well. Anywho, it's 10 o'clock. It is 10 o'clock, a little after 10 o'clock Eastern Time here in the Daverhood on this Saturday. I'm thinking it's right about time for us to get to... we can talk a little bit more about food later, but are you ready for Greeley Times? I think we are. So as we mentioned, this is from the Greeley Tribune newspaper. Every week, they take the most ridiculous phone calls that come in to the local police department and put them in a column called Cop Log. They fell down this week. They don't have a new one because of the holidays, I'll bet. But I'm praying that they will have a brand new, roster of items next week in the Tribune that we can crib from, because we take the most fun, ridiculous ones of these phone calls and share them with you. We call our segment Greeley Times. Colorado. And there you have it. The only song written about Greeley, Colorado. Our first phone call emerges. I'll get the old plastic phone here. A caller at 29th Street saw a man with something in his hand that seemed to be either, quote, and this is either from the caller, a toy or an automatic gun. The caller also said the item could have been a crossbow or a windshield wiper.
Wow.
Or on third thought, it might have been a ferret or a large asparagus. I was just like, what do you mean?
Really?
Yeah. It's kind of like, okay, all right. Let's hope it was the windshield wiper. Or perhaps the ferret. All right. Greeley time. Oh, another pen phone. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, though. A caller on 23rd Street wanted to speak with an officer about someone possibly scamming her. She got an email back from an application she put in and received a message from her supervisor for her to get $500 in gift cards that would then be given back to her in a paycheck.
That seems good.
Yeah, sure. Possibly scamming her. It's the old bone phone. Yahoo! A caller on 10th Street wanted...
Wait, look.
Oh, what is this? This is pretty. Is this New York right now? Whoa. Our friend of the neighborhood, David Kale, the actor and performer, he's showing his bird feeder that looks exactly kind of like ours.
It looks exactly like yours.
They're our bird feeders.
He took a picture of them.
But see, he's got them higher up and no branch, no nothing around them. But look, also, this is, yesterday, they just got snow. Yeah. Look at the snow they got. I'm not sure where that is, but, wow. Anyway, a caller on 10th Street wanted his firearm back from the Greeley Police Department after it was taken when he was arrested the night before. Officers said his gun was held for evidence and he would not be getting it back. Are they allowed to do that?
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, I guess...
If there was a robbery or something, yeah.
Yeah, I guess I have to keep it... Even if it wasn't evidence in the crime, like you don't want a criminal running around. I don't know. I don't know. I do not know. Anywho, I've been dying to try out the poo phone this week. I'm wondering if there's a call. Is there a call that requires the poo phone?
I'm sorry.
Oh, here it is. It's ringing. It's ringing. I got it. Hello. Hello. Where are you? Where are you? Oh, unknown location. A caller in an unknown location wanted to report the neighbors behind her playing very loud music. That sounded like a polka band. That's one of those where the setup is not the, you expect, very loud music. Someone complained last week about heavy drum pounding. It's like, oh God, they're old Nirvana songs or the rap. No. They've got like neighbors who are going crazy with the Obereks, my friends. Just like, granted, an accordion can drive anybody crazy, but still, wow. Wow. Love that. Oh. Time for the goat phone. Hello. A caller? There's so many from unknown locations this week. They're not telling us where they are. An unknown location said she thinks she's being blackmailed through WhatsApp. A man asked her for money during the start of their relationship.
There you go.
After she blocked him, she got an email saying, "Because you cut me off, I will get you back," along with screenshots of harassing comments in the caller's church live stream.
I don't understand.
I guess he's snuck into her emails or DMs or whatever.
Church live stream?
Yeah, I guess she goes to Zoom church or something, and he's making.
And she writes bad stuff, or he wrote bad stuff.
I don't know. It's a long. I'll read this again. This part.
All right.
I will get you back, and he sent screenshots of harassing comments in the caller's church live stream. Maybe he was posting nasty things about her. I don't know.
Oh yeah, betcha.
I don't even know if people still use WhatsApp. Is that the one that people still?
WhatsApp we use for international stuff, yeah.
Oh, okay. Fair enough.
You're thinking of Snapchat or something like that.
I'm thinking of that classic 1970s shows, What's Happening? Except, of course, you can't play the music anymore. Which is now not in public domain. So you have to change the music to something by, like, Vivaldi. Anywho, let's do one more and then we'll do an elsewhere. Here's the drum phone. A caller, we have another unknown location, ladies and gentlemen, said that her 16-year-old daughter's ex-boyfriend's dad, holy shit, her 16-year-old daughter's ex-boyfriend's dad was sending the girl texts with sexual innuendos. Caller wanted to report and tell next steps.
But that's a real one.
Yeah, well, if the dad is going in her endo, she definitely has to look into it. I think it's elsewhere time. Elsewhere time is when we get a story not from the Greeley Tribune, but somewhere else in the world. Like there's crazy, weird, ridiculous news stories, and we like to share them with you. A lot of these now are coming from a very cool website called Shepherd Express. But this one is also carried by People Magazine. And it comes out of New Orleans, Louisiana. On November, we got the bell. On November 7th, at Louis Armstrong, New Orleans International Airport, Corey Johnson tried to exit the short-term parking lot. But he didn't have money to pay the fee. So, first, he refused to move his Jeep out of the exit lane. Later, he did pull aside and try to work out payment. But by 10 in the evening, he was still stuck in the lot.
Oh, my God.
That's when the airport's aviation communications center got a bomb threat.
Oh, no.
The caller warned that the bomb would go off if the dispatcher didn't, quote, page Hassan. 20 minutes later, the bomber called back and threatened to bring the bomb to level 3 if they didn't get Hassan on the line. Well, by that time, remember, a half hour has passed. Deputies were able to ping the location of the call. Where do you think the call was coming from?
Car.
Yeah, this guy's car. He now faces up to 10 years in prison and a $250,000 fine for calling in a bomb threat. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you get stuck in a parking lot or you're having issues getting your car, it's probably best to leave it there, cool off, and walk around or something. Don't be calling in bomb threats. It's not going to go well for you. I will say that you get a lot of people hiring for bomb squads nowadays. Yeah, business is booming. We have one more elsewhere, ladies and gentlemen. We're gonna share these with you. Oh, I love the bell because here's a story to bring some Yuletide cheer. And it's a real hump day surprise. Oh, this is hysterical. The Champion Forest Baptist Church was holding its annual Christmas Spectacular with costumed reenactors doing the Christ story, and they also had live animals as part of the show. People pay a lot of money to...
Oh, we saw that horse in that Renaissance thing, remember?
Oh.
The Renaissance fair where he did duty on the pit.
Oh, that's better than this, but this is still pretty good.
Bad. I still have it.
They had big animals walking down the aisles of the church, where all the people, the bands and the...
Like what kind of, like a donkey?
We're talking camels.
Oh, how do you get it? That's not...
Camelid camels, man, being led down the aisles of the church as part of the procession of Mary and Joseph and whatever the hell they do in these pageants. In a video that has since gone viral, if you want to find this, we can actually show this. This is from Houston, Texas, by the way, as reported in the New York Post. In a video that has since gone viral, one of the camels lifted its back hoof and kicked a woman seated on the aisle.
Oh, man.
Got her right in the face.
No, you could think
Yeah, of course you can be badly hurt.
Knocked unconscious.
Yeah. Apparently she was knocked out cold and rushed to the hospital where she was treated and released. A church spokesman said the church has been in touch with the family, and he said, no, he didn't say that. He said, well, we know Jesus was a Jew, but please don't call any Jewish lawyers.
That's scary. No, you could...
But it goes by in a flash. The camels just, if you see the video, camels kind of walking, because he rears up and just go, and all the people in the pageant, they don't know what to do. They're just walking.
I told you our story at Bronx Zoo where I went with my friend and her little brother and sister. And you either ride an elephant or a camel. And so we wanted the elephant, my friend and I.
Yeah.
Called Kathy, not the one you know. And her little brother were Orange and Peter. And then we're like, okay, we're going to wait. And then the camel comes around. The camel's like spitting.
Oh.
You know what we said? Let the little kids go. We let her little brother and sister go.
Yeah.
You know, because we were like, oh, we're not going
on a friggin' camel, yeah.
And then what the handler said, it's probably good that you did it because they were lighter. And the camel probably wanted a break. So the lighter kids were better than two teenage girls. We waited for the elephant.
Was the elephant okay?
Yeah, it was lovely.
Oh.
And the kids were fine too. They enjoyed the camel. So it was a win-win. But the camel was spinning. It was mad. Like, you know, I think you need to, like, it's like the horses in the park and stuff. These animals are not meant to be doing this.
Oh, of course not.
They're not meant to be walking down a theater, you know, wearing some kind of outfit for a show.
I am, but
but like they're not meant to be on an ice skating rink making doo-doo.
Yeah, no, they're certainly not.
Having
No.
a picnic with a princess and making doo-doo. That's not what they do.
Well, no, making doo-doo is very much what they do. It's just the circumstances.
They're not supposed to be indoors, you know?
Yeah, very true. Very, very true. So that is our second Elsewhere story of the week, courtesy, one from Shepherd Express, the other from the New York Post. And if you do get a chance to see them, you don't even see anything. It's so fast. The camel's hoofs just go, pata! And then you suddenly see all the people in the, what's funny is the folks in the pews or the seating watching the procession, the pageant, suddenly they're turning around. It's like, oh my God. And meanwhile, all the actors are still walking down, guiding the animals. Because they can't leave the animals.
Did they know what happened?
I don't think they did. I don't think they have an idea.
You said it probably happened so fast, but
Yeah.
did she scream?
It's like, what's the commotion? Oh, I imagine she just went blacked out.
Yeah, but the people next to her must have seen her collapse.
Yeah. Ain't that a kick in the head?
No.
Okay, that's a little camel joke. Anywho, let's get back to one or two more Greeley times on this Saturday.
I wonder if they
Yeah.
sign a release saying that if they get hurt, they can't get,
Well, one of the reasons that it became difficult for me to do my one-man shows and stuff is not only are you on the hook for marketing and promotion and renting a fucking theater, a lot of these theaters force you to cover your own insurance.
That is
And that's like a big extra paycheck.
Do you think they did it, or because they were a church, they might not have?
Well, the church maybe, I'm sure if this company that they're hiring to do the pageant,
Oh, it was an animal company.
I'm assuming, yeah.
I told you what happened the one
Well,
time.
yeah.
We were doing the Alzheimer's walk, and this is Colorado, and a lady had llamas, and she passed out. And so I remember holding the llamas and saying, like, what do we do with the llamas? Like, and I have students, like, what do we do?
Well, there were other people. I was there for that. I remember that.
Remember the llamas, and then the one woman said, oh, they have their, no, in a caravan, what do you call it? Like their trailer.
Oh, yeah.
That she has the llama trailer, and the lady took them. But I was like, I never in my life thought I would be in a position where someone passed out.
And you had to deal with their llamas.
llamas,
Yeah. Come with me tonight, my little llama.
Oh, wait,
Come
you
with-
know who wants to come in there now?
Oh, Hanukkah. Well, his season's over, though.
Oh, I can't find him.
Wait, it's in the box. It's in the box right next to it.
Oh, no.
No, not that. No, not the ice cream truck.
Oh, no.
No. See, here's Hanukkah llama. Is this the original? Oh, he's out of the box, though. He's somewhere in there. Well, this is the Hanukkah llama box.
Nothing's in there?
He made 2 appearances this week, or last 2 weeks on Dave's Gone By because of the Hanukkah holiday. So, but he did not kick anybody. Oh, we have poop! I love this.
I don't know where I can't see him.
I do love me some
I don't know. So,
squishy
I wonder
squeezy.
what happened though with that church person. That's very upsetting.
Well, she was treated and released.
Yeah, but it could have broke her nose.
Oh, could have done a whole bunch of things, yeah.
She could have been in a coma.
She lost some teeth. I'm trying to make a hump joke. Well, are there any other camel words that I can make a joke?
Dromedary.
No.
What happened to the woman who got kicked in the face by a camel during a Christmas show?
She wasn't a drama queen. She was a dromedary queen. And speaking of Dairy Queen, I could go for some ice cream.
Oh my God!
What?
She was hospitalized with broken ribs,
Oh.
sternum, hand, leg trauma, head and face bruises.
Well, at least it wasn't
I mean,
serious.
my God, like.
Wow. So she's lucky he didn't get her in the head. He got her.
But no, face bruises.
Oh, man.
Face bruises too, David, yeah.
Oh,
I
lordy.
mean, that's a lot.
Let's see, okay. Wow.
It was more than once.
No, it was on one kick. This animal probably weighs.
No, but how did it get, like, or she must have done this. She must have protected herself. And
Like,
it got
bam.
No, this way, like this, look, because it got the head and the thing.
Because a camel couldn't do 2 kicks. It couldn't do like
Oh,
how.
okay, oh, trust me. Those, you know.
Wait, well, you know what? We're gonna watch the short video. Here it is. We're gonna show it. I think this is it.
I'm glad she's alive, but it could have broke her nose. It
Here.
could have.
Here's coming down the.
Broken ribs are very painful.
Yeah, running down the thing. Sorry about my thumb there. So you can't even. I think that was it.
Let me see.
And they've gotten slow motion there. That might not be the best video to show of it, because it was much faster than that. It's sort of like
Oh my God.
it just ran up and went boom, just like that.
Oh my God.
And everybody and the actors are just passing through, and there's a commotion, but they're not sure. They don't know what the hell it
They
is.
keep going straight.
Yeah. Which is probably good, because if they suddenly stopped, what they
But
were
people
doing,
don't know, and then
all the animals would go apeshit.
No, the thing is, the good part is there are people by her trying to help
Yeah,
her, but
yeah.
she was an older woman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's bad. That looks. Ugh.
But I'll tell you what, she will never have to work another day for the rest of her
I don't
life.
think she's gonna. No, but
Because there's a church that will be paying all her bills.
look at this: 10 broken ribs. It says here.
I know you had that many
Yeah,
ribs.
you got a lot of ribs. A broken sternum. Oh, that's like right here. The problem is like when you breathe, it hurts.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
now your sternum. Oh my God.
I used to listen to Howard Stern a lot when he was on terrestrial radio. Yeah, I know. That wasn't all that good, but I had to make the joke anyway. So, yeah, no, that was
It's unbelievable.
well, it's wild animals. It's like, people who keep gorillas as pets, and they're wonderful for months or years, and then one day the gorilla has a bad morning and tears your face off.
Yeah, the comments are. They're saying like she could have been dead.
Yeah.
They said, why didn't they have a teenager dress up as a camel? It would have been a better deal, you know?
Yeah, they should have done, like English panto. It was like,
Well, my mother's friend used to like that. In Pennsylvania, they had it, but they didn't come, the animals weren't in the aisles, they were on stage.
all right.
Yeah, I mean, at least that's with actors or trainers, but.
And even there, things, remember, what was it, Siegfried and Roy? Roy Horn and his beloved tiger?
Somebody said here that
Or lion,
the
yeah.
animal did not show aggression, that they moved the leg because of the costume.
Oh, wow.
Like it wasn't.
He's trying to
that-
kick the costume
yeah.
off. Oh, God.
That it wasn't. That someone saying they had.
Yeah, you ever try and get your, like, pants or pajamas off, and it's, like, not coming because it's sort of angled, and your foot is...
Why did they go on with the show? But sometimes you don't know what happens. Like
Yeah.
you might not know. I don't know. Maybe they don't know. They just think like that's just crazy.
Stuff happens. And sometimes you don't know if something's part
Somebody
of...
wrote on Reddit what you said. We all know they didn't check their insurance liability policy. Wow.
Or maybe they did. You can't do a show like this without insurance.
You don't know that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Do you think the animal people checked it?
After the incident, they sure did. No, but I read a book by someone was telling me the funniest thing that ever happened when they were dealing with live TV. And it had to do with a monkey going completely apeshit, literally apeshit everywhere, just running around, throwing things, destroying property. It wasn't J. Fred Muggs. It wasn't Today Show. I forget who this was. Oh, it was George Schlatter, the guy who founded Laugh-In. But before he was doing Laugh-In, he was doing a lot of other TV and stuff. And it might have been a Broadway show, something involving some animal. And it might have been Vegas, or trained or untrained animals, and then
Wow,
it went great, and then it didn't go great.
That
Yeah.
a camel kick usually causes death.
Really?
It's such a high risk, yeah.
My God.
A lot of facial stuff. Wow.
Well, this is why people spend hours and hours of hypnosis and therapy in order to kick camels. Get it? That's a little joke right there.
Oh, is there?
Well, yeah, we have more Greeley Times, ladies and gentlemen. Couple more phone calls to the Greeley and Weld County Police Department from people with problems in their neighborhoods. For example, we need some noise here. This is an alert. It is a happy ending alert. This is a story with a surprisingly happy ending. A caller, and this is like in the late morning at an elementary school, a caller reported an injured bald eagle on the field of Shawsheen Elementary School. A police officer approached the bird, which flew away not injured at all.
Good.
Happy ending, happy ending. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Isn't that nice? You know what? I'm gonna end on that. You know, I'm gonna stop our Greeley Times this week because why not? Why not? It's the end of the year. It's the last Greeley Times we're gonna do for 2025. Let's end. The bird was fine. It flew away. It went and had a wonderful life. It laid eggs. It kicked some people in the head, but it wasn't a camel, so it didn't hurt them too bad. It's a happy, happy ending of Greeley Times.
Mr. Horace Greeley was no fool. I'm sure that you'll agree with me that Greeley was no fool.
What he is getting at is that Mr. Greeley was no fool.
Yippee-yi!
Yippee-yi, 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 yi-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi, yippee-yi.
Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, it is, my God, it's 25 after 10 already. It always happens on shows when I don't have that much planned and I don't know what the hell I'm going to talk about. I don't know what I'm going to do, except I have certain segments that are pre-planned and things. I'm like, I'm not going to get, I'll be lucky to get 2 hours out of this program. How the hell am I going to go to 3 hours when I don't even have anything? There's not, and yet here we are. It's 10:30 almost, and we haven't even done our guest yet. But we have.
That guest should be really good.
Oh, he's great. He's
yeah,
great.
Looks
We've got.
like a great guest. I'm looking at the feed.
So yes, we still have Dave's Big Dictionary coming, where I'll be talking about the word apropos. We also have our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Chester, Colorado, for a poem. And what else do we? Well, those are the two main other things to do. But we do have and our old a replay of our old Rabbi Sol Solomon piece from a year ago, his year end for 2024 that we'll replay on 2025. But before we get to all that, let's get to our very, very special guest in the Daverhood. He's Darius de Haas. He has numerous Broadway credits, including Kiss of the Spider Woman and Shuffle Along on Broadway. He was in the national tour of Once on This Island. Maybe you've most heard his, we talked about The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel a little earlier, a show I still haven't seen, but I'm hoping to catch an episode here and there at some point. But he's a voice of a character named Shy, or the singing voice of a character on that show. And anyway, Darius de Haas, he has been in the game for several years, and now he's released, and mainly he's doing a lot of concert stuff. You'll see him playing in opera houses and in concert halls and cabaret clubs. As a matter of fact, only a couple of weeks ago, he was at 54 Below in Manhattan, and he'll be coming back there. But for now, his main thing is that he's got a Christmas album out that is called Let Me Carry You This Christmas, available where all Christmas and regular music is sold and purveyed. So, without further ado, we have an interview coming for you. Let's play our interview music while I share my screen. Whoop, that's not what I wanted to play.
You don't do the video, the Mac video. You do the other video.
Oh, yeah.
Well, who been talking? I could talk all night. 'Twas the talk of the town. Everybody's talking at me. Who is on the other end talking? Conversation. Please talk to me. You can talk to me.
Yes, we will be talking with Darius de Haas, not me, but the one, the only, the Jewish Rabbi Sol Solomon, right here, right now, on this episode of the Dave's Gone By Show. Oh, shalom, my friends, shalom, my enemies. This is their old pal, Rabbi Sol Solomon, founder and spiritual leader of Temple Sons of Bitches in Great Neck, New York. And oh, what a thrill to have a performer in front of me right now, a singer and a actor whose Broadway credits include the original Kiss of the Spider-Woman, not the movie, but the original Broadway musical there. He was an understudy in Rent when that was on Broadway for years and years and years. He was in Marie Christine with the great Audra Ann McDonald, and another show with her called Shuffle Along. Plus, he did the national tour of Once on This Island, and he won an OB award, so he must have studied the OB method. But he was in The Running Man off Broadway. I have to do that joke. I'm sorry. You've also heard that voice on The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel as one of the characters there. He is in writing for the Philadelphia Tribune. Rita Charleston lauded this man, Darius de Haas's, quote, enormous talent, so many talents, it's almost too difficult to list them, although I just did. And he is here because he has a brand new album out, and it's all about, you should pardon the expression, Christmas. Yes, he has, like everybody else, he's got a Christmas album. It's called Let Me Carry You This Christmas. We are carrying on here with Darius de Haas. Shalom, Darius!
Shalom. Shalom. How are you?
Oh, I'm good. You know, the usual phlegm in the prostate. But other than that, I'm good.
Yes.
How are you? You were traveling. Where were you?
I was in Virginia with my husband's side of the family, my family in Virginia. We were, just not too, I would say not too far from Richmond. I can't, I have no sense of direction, so I can't tell you which direction from, but in the lovely, Blue Ridge Mountain area. And so we were there for, an extended pre-holiday weekend with family out there because, we don't get to see each other on Christmas Day proper. So you have to try to, strategize, and when you can see family prior to, I'm going to go see my mother tomorrow, who's at the Actors Fund home, and all things. So you're just trying to figure out all those logistics. So yeah, we saw them this past weekend.
So no, I thought you might be performing because you were doing shows at 54 Below just at
that was just before Virginia. That was just leading up to Virginia. I was here and there and everywhere and doing a lot of promo and doing
as
concerts.
the phrase goes, yes, Christmas, there is a Virginia.
Yeah.
It's a little comedy right there. How did you meet your hubble? You're married for a while now. How did you meet your husband, Darius?
How did I meet my hubble? I like that. How did I meet my hubble? Well, I met him, and he should be on this interview because he likes to give the long, extended versions of this. But back in the late 1990s, there was a club called Twirl on 23rd and 8th Avenue. And it was a multi-floor, like a duplex, maybe a triplex building, gay club that had, their gimmick was that I shouldn't say maybe their gimmick, but their marketing thing was that you could win a birthday party for yourself and 20 to 30 of your closest friends, So, of course, bring 20 to 30, to the club, you buy the drinks and the dancing and all that stuff. And so I had just been on a tour of a show called I Was Looking at the Ceiling and Then I Saw the Sky. It was an international tour of this sort of opera thing, contemporary opera thing. And I had just gotten back into the city, and there was someone who I was, had such a horrible crush on. And it wasn't working out. And basically, just had my heart broken, blah, 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 blah. And so a friend of mine, a very dear friend of mine, Richard, was having one of these parties at the club. And he said, Darius, could you please come in? And I was like, the last place I want to be is in a club with a bunch of people. I'm depressed, I'm mad, I'm this, I'm that, I was Mr. Scrooge. And I said, Darius, don't be like that. You have to, you have to support your friend, be there and all that. So I called my friend Chris. I said, well, Chris, could you please come with me to this club and we can, you could be my buffer, because, it was one of those things where you're standing outside a club. There's like a million people standing outside waiting to get in, and I hate that. Yeah. And so I was just like, okay, well, at least I'll have a friend to talk to. So, of course, Chris knows everybody. He knows everybody in the line. He's like, hello, flitting here and there. And I'm standing there like that. And he happens upon this, trio of, 2 or 3 guys. And one of them is this guy, very, very sweet-faced guy with these little droopy eyes. And just very, very sweet. And Chris says, Darius, this is my friend Kyle. And I was like, oh, hi, how are you doing? And he's like, oh, you're Darius. I was like, yeah. He said, yeah, oh, you were in Kiss the Spider Woman. I was like, yeah. And he said, yeah, and you were in Rent. I was like, yeah. And the way I'm saying it, I was like, yeah. I was like, okay. I was like, I really am not up for Rent heads or Rent fans. And I love them. I love the Rent fans to this very day. But I was just like, I can't turn it on for Rent. I can't turn. I just, you think about it, it's like, oh, it was rather selfish that night. I just was like, no, I don't want to be. But he was very, I could clearly see he was kind of interested, but I was, sort of like, But we go into the club, it's really crowded, I'm really cranky, but we managed to find a seat, in the corner of the club, and, and there's a go-go boy dancing, doing this thing, he was like, getting his groove on and everything, and he's very, handsome, very engaging, and the conversation goes everywhere. And, and I think there's something to be said for when you are in that kind of state of mind that I was in, you don't care. So you just sort of, you're not trying, because in these clubs, everybody's trying to, show their best, and trying to, be all, it's like, put on their best face or trying to be very, alluring and, and being,
I wear my shiniest talus when I go.
Right, exactly. Wearing their shiniest talus, very, just, and they were putting on. I did not care. And what was really, I was like I'd seen other guys there that I had dated at the club, and I was like, ugh, and I was just like, I was like, this is a nightmare. So I'm sitting there going, this is some crap, and I'm sitting, there. And one boy, the go-go boy, at the top of the bar, in his gyrations and doing all this thing, he said, hey, I'm just trying to get money for my law degree, because I'm going to be a lawyer. And everybody was like, yeah, right, you're trying to get a law degree. And I was like, look, don't laugh at him. Don't laugh at him. I can very much get with the fact that he's doing this. Look, you can make good money at these clubs, you get those tips, he looked great and everything. And look, he's trying to, and law school is expensive. Look, I'm not mad, don't laugh at him. And, he's probably a very successful lawyer to this day. I didn't get his name or anything, but I was just very like, look, don't, look here, Queens,
Not all lawyers are Jewish.
Yes. Exactly. So, I think Kyle was very impressed by that. I think he was very impressed by that. And, the fact that I just didn't care and I, stood up for the go-go boy and everything. And eventually he called my friend Chris and he says, look, do you think Darius would mind me talking to him and everything? And Chris called me and he said, do you think he could calling? And I was like, yeah, sure, why not, whatever. And, we spent like a good hour with me going, I'm not interested in a relationship. I do not want, an hour, mind you. Speaking for an hour, It's like, I'm not interested in a relationship. This is not going to work, blah, 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 blah. And here we are 29 years later.
Wow. And by the way, your husband tells the long version of this story. That's.
I gave his version.
Oh, okay.
I gave his version, for your lovely viewers, So there you go. If you're looking for love, the lesson to take away from this is be totally cranky and mad and aloof and go to a gay bar and then 29 years later you'll be happily married.
Actually, this brings up a work-related question, in a manner of speaking. Since you've done so much Broadway and you do a lot of concerts and cabaret with orchestras and things like that, how do you navigate a performance when you're just like feel crappy or angry or your throat's like meh, and then you have to bring it for two and a half hours, whatever? Does something go off in your head, or is it just natural? It's like you leave it at the door and boom. What do you do?
Well, I say it's a combination of things, but I think the thing that I've learned, and this is the nice thing about being older, and this is not for me advocating like when you are really, really sick and you just can't do it, then it's just like anything. But that aside, I say, look, it really isn't about me. It's about what these people are going to experience, and particularly if you're doing a themed concert or anything like that, I will find that audiences, for the most part, will be very, very forgiving if you are not feeling in your best voice or whatever. But if you don't make it about, and if you can get yourself to at least, be able to carry yourself through the performance. And I was personally very lucky to have a voice teacher that really knew how to, give me strong techniques. So even if I'm not feeling at my best, I was like, okay, this is where the voice is. Can you do this? Can you do that? This is where you're going to have to sort of, lighten up a little bit. Don't worry about having to hit all the big notes. Stay in a nice medium place. And if you do that, and before each performance, I really do say a little mantra to myself, going, just give it over to the people and let it work through you.
We're talking about illness, or if you have a sore cold or things like that, but also, like, if you're in, as you say, a cranky, rotten mood, you have to go, do you use that I'm talking not just cabaret, I'm talking now maybe if you're in a show, a musical. Do you use it and sort of let it filter into your character that night, or do you keep it out completely and make believe that everything's fine for that character?
I would say that can work to a point. And when I was younger, I was able to use my emotional state depending on what the show was. But I would not recommend that as a constant thing, because it's about being in the moment, but also technique as well. And I really do stress technique, because when you have a good technique, and particularly when you're acting in a show, or even when you're doing concerts, because I would say, and this may be because of having jazz musicians as parents or whatever, none of my two performances are exactly the same. But the same could also be said of Meryl Streep. She gives different takes, different, whatever. And I would say it could be used, but the thing is, you have to be very careful that, and particularly when you're in interaction with someone else in a scene or whatever, that you really take great care to really be present and listen to them. I think listening is very important, even more so than you being like, okay, well, I'm mad now, and I'm going to use that. You can use it, but you still have to stay very, very present. And which is why I say you have to give, still stay in that sense of generosity and being open. And, because sometimes when you come in and you're like this, sometimes you're so in your head and you're so about what you're going to do, that you're not listening, you're not present, you're not this, and all those things have to come into play. I feel, when I was young, I did a show many years ago called Children of Eden, and I played Cain, who,
I'm glad you were able.
Yeah. Exactly. You're snappy. Yes, Rabbi. That was such a joyful experience for me. But at the time, I was so motivated and so not anxious, but I was just so wanting to share so much of what was in my heart at that time. And Cain was a very passionate character. Some people say he was very angry, some he was evil. I never thought of him as evil or anything. I thought of him in that interpretation of the book of Genesis, very, very passionate about wanting to get out of this situation, being in the wastelands with Adam and Eve and his brother Abel, and going to what they thought was Eden, being in Eden, and that was his dream. And the reason I bring it up is that I had just done Rent for a little over a year, and I had done a couple of other shows, but I really, here was a role that really allowed me to display my talent. And so I really poured everything into it. My frustrations, my anger, my eagerness, my earnestness, I poured everything into it. And at that time, you're younger and everything, you're just like, yeah. So I would say in that instance, because I was able to really tap into that thing of, let me show you, and that was a lot of my early career. Is like, I will show you, let me show you, come on, let me show you. So I would say in that sense, in the most positive sense, because he does do things in the show where he does kill Abel and all those things, and so I couldn't be so like that I was just kind of all over the place, but I was able to use that in order to fuel that. And I think in the best way, when you can fuel that with and stay consistent and not harm anyone and not harm yourself, then that I think is the best way to go.
Now, I am guessing you will have a story about it. I'm
But they're
guessing.
all not going to be as long as the.
I love it. I love it. I can just listen and laugh and have so much fun. So that is why it's not even on my list of questions here. I'm going to ask you, what is the worst audition you ever had? I'm guessing.
Oh gosh, what is the worst? Oh my gosh. Oh well. Let's see. What's the one that I can talk about where I'm not incriminating?
Or one where you are incriminating. That might be.
Well, I had an audition for the Motown the musical.
Yeah.
And it didn't go great. And the thing is, this was the callback for it. It was the callback. And I just thought about another one that I was a callback for, but I'm not gonna tell you that story because that does really incriminate somebody. But Motown, yeah, I was called back for it, and was told in not so many words, look, Darius, this role really is yours for the taking. You can do this role. So let's, so I would, without them saying we will give you the role, because they never said that, but I didn't take it for granted. I said, well, let me really just go in and make sure, because this was for, I think, either replacement or for the tour or something like that. And I was like, okay, well, I'll go in and everything, and I, because my initial audition for it went great, and I went back, and I remember it being so, I was sitting in the waiting room for at least a half hour. And so, of course, you have to do a million things in order, at least for me, to kind of preserve yourself, to kind of keep, because, when you're in an audition waiting room, people are going in and out, people are talking, and I really have to go into monk. Same way I have I just have to kind of be quiet, because I don't really like talking. I really don't like socializing in audition situations and everything. I just really want to preserve it all for that and get out of there. And I guess there had been something that had happened previously before I was finally called in like a half hour late. And I was trying to just, because I was like, oh boy. And I went in, I was like, hi. And I was like, how's everyone doing? And, Dirk said, I'm fine. and all the energy just got sucked out of the room. It just, and I was like, oh boy. And this was the same director that told me, oh, this is gonna be fine, you're gonna be great, blah, blah, blah. But no, he didn't say I'm fine, he said, well, I'm here. That's what he said, well, I'm here.
Oh.
And I just, me, a little sensitive actor, be like, okay. Let me just pull myself together here, and I sang it, but I just remember being very tight and very like, because the song was a big ballad. It was like his big second act ballad, I think, and it was for the role of Berry Gordy, and
whoa, yeah, all right,
and it was just, and it just all the energy got sucked out of the room, and I was just like, okay, well, yes, and I knew going out of the room that, and that is the thing and I think the lesson from that, and in hindsight, is that at the time I was so angry at the situation and at that particular director and everything, and the situation of waiting so long to go in, and all these extenuating circumstances. And the thing about it is, you're always going to deal with extenuating circumstances, even in this day and age of how we have to be very careful of what we say to young performers and all these things, and just be very mindful. I would say be mindful. The business is still the business, and situations more often than not do not present themselves in these perfect sort of things. Your best day of singing more than likely will not be the day that you do the audition, will not be the day that you are singing on stage at Carnegie Hall. It'll be when you're folding your laundry. I heard wonderful sopranos say this recently. You'll be in your laundry room folding your laundry, going, whatever, and thinking, gosh, I sound really good. Ooh, I hope I remember that when I'm on stage performing, my concert or whatever. And, because that is, those are the things. So, really having to just be very consistent and practice and be mindful of your technique, or just staying in a sense of, for me, generosity and just and being able to let things go afterwards, which is a hard thing for me to say. Like I said, I'm a very sensitive little thing, and so it's just, you really do have to be able to ride with it, because we're no one is owed anything with this. We do it because we love it. And when people say, well, do you what is your advice to young people? I say, to really just be very, dedicated, know why you want to know it, do it because you love it, not because of how many likes you're going to get in Instagram or fame or any of those things, because even with those things, there's more pressure to deliver, and there's more pressure, and believe me, everybody has their struggles, the most famous of the most famous, the most known, the most admired, everyone has the things that they are dealing with. So it really does make it about, the enjoyment of the work.
Oh, as I mentioned, I'm dealing with my prostate all the time. And yet
Exactly.
Here I am.
How do you give yourself a happy prostate? It's like, okay, prostate, how can I damn you?
Various ointments are selected. But what we are dealing with right now is the wonderful Darius de Haas. The thing is, as we mentioned at the top of the show, he's got, yes, it's a Christmas album.
What is he doing on the show? My goodness, what's going on here?
Well, you're pushing something here. Do you actually have a copy of it? I mean, I've got some of the cover here, but what's...
Oh, gosh, I do, but it's down.
Yeah,
I don't have it up here with me. I'm so sorry. I'm bad. Oh, that's
You are bad, but you have to talk about it. So tell us, how is the Darius de Haas Christmas album different from the Bing Crosby Christmas album, the Chaim Yankel Christmas album, the Tiny Tim Christmas? How is yours?
The way it is mine is that it really does very intentionally come out of my experience, out of my personal experiences, even more so than what was even intended. Because I've been wanting to do a Christmas slash holiday album for years. I've been doing Christmas concerts for 10 years, holiday concerts for 10 years. And it was always the intention to do an album, to do a recording. And it was great to have the opportunity to do these concerts over time so I could sort of sift through and really figure out from audience response what felt good in me, what grew in the arrangements and in the approaches musically, and just from an experiential standpoint, what I would want on the album, because I grew up loving holiday music. I love it from all corners. And you know, I come from a musical family, so not only loving holiday music, but loving music in general, and wanting to infuse that sense of what my family musical legacy is into this, and really having my own voice uh, honestly come through. So it had been in the works for a good number of years, and then when The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel came around, I had the great pleasure of working with songwriters who wrote original music for that show, Tom Miser and Curtis Moore. And I said, look, guys, you all really so know my, I mean, the original songs they wrote for Shy Baldwin, who was the character I provided the singing for, they knew my voice so well, and they knew how to get into the heart of the warmth of it, you know, and the expansion of it. And so I asked them to write me a Christmas song. And that song, Let Me Carry You This Christmas, sort of became the hub of what I wanted to convey, what I wanted to really say in this, and what made it uniquely mine, but at the same time, also, hopefully, in people listening to it, they could relay their experiences through it as well, because the song really is about the passing of tradition from the parent to the child, and what happens when the parent can no longer do those things, decorate the tree, or put up the lights, or do those things. What is it that, you know, what did we learn, and not just from parent to child, if it's friends, if it's, you know, relative, you know, whoever in your life, you know, gave you that sense of magic, who gave you that magic. And so they wrote that extraordinary song for me, and that became the hub of the album. So to answer your question, I think that is what makes it uniquely mine, but hopefully, you know, and people listening to it, because I recorded it twice. I recorded it back in 2020, the song Let Me Carry You This Christmas, at the tail end of at the tail end of the pandemic. So really more 2021. Released it as a single and had a video for it and all these things. And then I wanted to redo it for the album, in sort of maybe a little bit more intimately, because I just do it with the wonderful pianist Matthew Whitaker. So we have that. And I also want to just touch on different aspects of the holiday experience, the joyful, the fun, the silly. In my case, you know, my father was a jazz bassist, so I have a version of Silent Night with just the bass. Also having songs that are not Christmas songs at all. I do Annie Lennox's Cold. There's a song that was written by the wonderful Annie Lennox, for anyone who's familiar with her from the Eurythmics, and then her wonderful solo career. Very prolific songwriter to me. And I took her song Cold, which I'd been singing for years, and it has all this wintry imagery in it, icicles and cold and all this stuff, and just the emotions of being at that time sort of in a relationship that does not work, of being with someone who just does not want you. You know, that was the initial motivation behind that. But over the years of singing the song, and why I wanted to include it in the album is I think it speaks to a bigger thing of having, there's a lyric that says, "Winter has frozen us, let love take hold of us. Now we are shivering, blue ice is clear." So I really lean into sort of those more universal things. And for people who know that song, and from when I released the album, and even when I released that as a single earlier this year, people say that song really resonates with me. And so I wanted to have a holiday album that would embrace hopefully as many people as possible. I did a concert prior to the 54 Belonging, and did a concert the weekend before that, and I sang "Let Me Carry You This Christmas," and this lovely lady came up to me. She said, "Oh, I love it, and I hear you're gonna do your concert. What songs are you gonna be singing? And I said, "Well, it's a holiday concert." She said, "Well, I'm Jewish. I don't wanna, I don't, I said, "Well, look, I'm not just singing Christmas songs in my concert. I'm not just singing, I'm singing there's a song called Snowbound in it that, is a jazz standard. There are a lot of, I really wanted to embrace as many people because, the holiday season isn't just one thing, whether you're talking about Christmas, whether you're talking about Hanukkah, whether you're talking about Kwanzaa, whether you're talking about, and a lot of people kind of go inward. It's not about holly jolly, ooh, ooh, ooh. Christmas sums up a lot of things for people. It's a very emotional time. It's a very difficult time for a lot of people because, it's been a difficult time for me, particularly this year. And that's why.
Was it your father or your father-in-law passed? Someone passed in the.
My father passed in June of 2022, and so it was around that time that I started getting all the things together for the recording of this album. But he passed away. My beloved cousin Ronell, they passed away the year after that. And then just this year, my beloved uncle Andy Bay, wonderful singer, pianist, beloved in the jazz world and in the music world at large, he passed away just this past April. And along with that, a lot of dear friends have passed away in this year. And so doing that in the landscape, doing this album, and what I was referring to, how lucky I was, how fortunate I was that I had this to pour all of that into, pour all of my love and my grief and my joy and all the things that these people gave me. They carried me. It's, when we have the title, "Let Me Carry You," it's not me carrying everyone. It's like, I'm going to carry it's all these people who have carried me through all my life. My beloved voice teacher talking about technique and, I would have never been able to have, I think, done it in a way that I felt was authentic and, and just as full a sense of myself and my experiences had I not had these people in my life. And so with my love of, because I love all the, I mean, I love the Barbra Streisand Christmas album. I love Joan Baez. I love Bing Crosby. I love Judy Garland. I love Donny Hathaway. I love the Handel's Messiah. I love the Handel's Messiah Soulful Celebration. I listen to so much Christmas music or artists who have recorded, and I love different people's takes on it. So that was also part of it. It's like, how do I have something that makes sense, that has a journey, but calls from different things. So some things lean more into the jazz, some things lean more into R&B, some things lean more into very traditional. And how do I put it all together? And let me tell you, Rabbi, it's not. And Christmas albums, holiday albums are not easy. I bowed down to. I was listening to Bing Crosby. Kyle and I were listening to the Bing Crosby Christmas album yesterday, and I was like, wow, that is an X. And what he does, of course, there's the, I'm dreaming of a white Christmas and all that stuff, but also, there was a very Irish, Christmas song that I don't think is very well known, but very, very much in that Irish tradition and everything. I was like, wow, this is great. This is great. I have just such great respect for people, the crafting of the sorts of albums.
Well, that's why I wanted to suggest, for if you're doing a sequel, I do have a song called "Let Me Drag You This Shavuos." I can send you the lyric sheet if you want.
Please.
17 stanzas long. It could use a cutting of one verse or two, one or two though.
We can work with that.
Yeah, excellent. By the way, we are working here with Darius de Haas, ladies and gentlemen. Just a couple more questions for you because we're having such a wonderful time talking. But gotta talk about a little bit of your Broadway career there. I am curious, when you were in Kiss of the Spider Woman on Broadway, who was your spider lady? Was it Cheetah or was it Vanessa? Who was it then?
I had the great fortune of making my Broadway debut led by a company led by Cheetah Rivera. And then it was Cheetah's last, if I remember this correctly, Cheetah's last 4 months in the show. So I came in the show roughly around the same time as Brian Stokes Mitchell.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We joined the company roughly around the same. He joined it just prior to me, and he was already in the show, like staying, but he had just joined. I had been hired, and so we joined roughly around the same. So we did Cheetah's last 4 months, and then Cheetah left to get ready to do the national tour, and Vanessa came in. So I did Cheetah's last 4 months, and then I did Vanessa's first 3 months.
Any stories about
Carousel?
But any stories about either Cheetah or Vanessa or both? Any fun, happy, wonderful, anything? Any anecdote?
Well, my first time meeting Cheetah was I'd been hired, and the dance captain Dan O'Grady had been working with me and getting me together and doing all my stuff, and and I was just like, oh my God, Cheetah Rivera, oh my God, because she, for me, is ultimate. That is Broadway royalty. It is Broadway legacy, and it's one of those for any of us who love Broadway, who love the, or who just love the arts in general, because she belongs to the world. Cheetah Rivera belongs to the world, and I don't know, even if for people who may not be familiar with, her influence is indelible on Broadway. And when I was brought, back, because they were like, I had to have my put-in, and prior to my put-in, they said, well, do you want to meet Cheetah? And I was like, yeah. And I'm brought, her dressing room was on the stage right side of the stage. It was on the so it was on the stage right side of the stage, and first thing I heard was, ah! I just hear this voice, ah! And I go in, and she's having a mani-pedi, and she had a towel wrapped around her head, and she was in a white robe, and I didn't know what to expect. And she's like, oh, you're the new boy. And the first question out of her mouth was, do you bake?
Okay.
Do I bake? No. But the reason she asked me that was I was replacing a wonderful singer, actor, dancer in the company, Adrian Bailey, who we lost earlier this year. Adrian Bailey. And for Broadway fans, he was in Smokey Joe's Cafe. He was the one who sang Stand By Me. And Adrian was a monster baker. He was baking left and right. And as he was getting ready to leave and being replaced by me, he was baking up a storm. And I like to say, oh, he's making sure that no one forgets him. So I was joining the company, full, we're supposed to be in this, prison span, no one's being fed and everyone's throwing up and everyone's, cause we're in the Spanish prison, and I'm joining a company full of portly prisoners, those baked goods in between shows and during intermission. So I said, well, no, I don't bake, Miss Rivera. She said, oh, that's okay. She said, do you know the choreography? I was like, yes, I know it. So she was the most generous, the most wonderful. I watched her every night from the wings when she sang the theme song, when she sang Kiss the Spiral. I watched her every night from stage right, in that gown and those wings, and she would come forward. And the other story I'll tell about her is we had one where, we had a song called Where You Are, and we had a thing where at the end of the song where we had to dance with the canes and we do this thing, and and then we had to flip the canes in our hand. So I was always very paranoid about dropping the cane. We had one performance where not me, but one of the other guys in the ensemble prison, all the canes, we were supposed to get the canes from the upstage backdrop because they were attached by Velcro on them. And all the canes got knocked down. He kind of just misjudged and knocked them over and everything. And so at the big climax of the number, we're scrambling around the stage and I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, and then I just, let me just grab this cane. Cause and I was like, da, 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 da. I was like, God, this cane feels very light. And it's bejeweled. Oh, what cane is this? It's like a little, and and I'm like flipping it, and I'm like, oh, good, I caught it and everything. And then I walk off stage, and I'm like, oh my God, it's Cheetah's cane, 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 it's Cheetah. Oh my God. And she came off stage. She said, what happened? He said, oh, John Norman knocked off the cane. She said, well, who has my cane? She said, I think Darius got your cane. I was like, I'm sorry, I got your. She's like, it's fine. But I ended up with Cheetah's cane. And oh Lord, it was like, but the thing was, she created such an atmosphere, because she was a gypsy, one of us. And then, Vanessa coming in, she just carried it because she was making her Broadway debut as well. And we became fast friends and just laughed and giggled. And it was so exciting to see someone realizing her dream, because her dream was to be on Broadway. It wasn't to be a big pop star, big R&B star. It was to be on Broadway. And so it was very exciting.
Now, is there a dream, I'm sure you've been asked this one, but a dream role that you've always wanted to play and still can, perhaps, in musical theater or regular theater, or...
Oh, gosh. Well, I don't know if this is dream. I would love to tackle Hermes in Hades Town. I would love to do the role that Andre D. Shields did.
I've been trying to tackle my herpes, not yet, but I'm trying all these different cures. But that's
but I would love to, but really, I have found my career has really been predicated on jumping into the fire and having things happen that I would have never even thought about. I had done Judas and Jesus Christ Superstar, which was a role that I had wanted to do, and I had done that at one point. And then someone, the Alliance Theater in
Atlanta.
In Atlanta, they said, "Well, we want to see you for Jesus. We want you to be Jesus in this." And I was like, "Jesus?" And I had never thought of that. And it was one of the most glorious productions I had ever done. There was one role that kind of got away that I would have loved to have done, and I'm too old, way too old for it now. I would have loved to have done Candide. Yeah, I love, and I would have loved, at the beginning of my career, but I got to work on so many amazing shows, and I think the reason I've been able to sustain a career was because of being versatile. I used to think, oh gosh, people don't get me because they can't quite put a particular thing on me. And it's like, well, he's this sort of performer, he's that sort of. But I love, in a sense, I think that's the great thing. I guess maybe being a character actor, a character singer, what I don't know what because you can tackle many different things, and it's stretched me and totally informed where we are today.
Speaking of where we are today, here's one quick question, as we have a couple more minutes with the wonderful Darius de Haas. And this may be the toughest question that I'll ask, but it might actually come up. If you were asked to sing at the Kennedy Center, the Donald Trump John F. Kennedy Center for the Performing Arts, would you?
No. I will not sing at the. I'll tell you something. I was actually supposed to do a show at the Kennedy Center prior to the expulsion of all those board members and all of that stuff. I was set to do a show with the Gay Men's Chorus out there. Yeah. And I had my contract. I had they were like the administrative staff there, who probably all were fired. I mean, I don't know, but they got that contract to my agents, and I was, and I was set to go, and then nothing. Heard nothing. I think it's absolutely awful. And I love the Kennedy Center. Anyone who has gone to perform at the Kennedy Center, and I performed at the Kennedy Center on and off since I was, since before, I think the very first time I performed there, I was like maybe 18 or 19 years old.
Wow, so almost 40 years ago, something like that.
Yeah, and I mean, so I have kind of a history, and I did Once on This Island there of the national tour. I performed there with Stephen Blyer with the New York Festival of Song, doing concerts there. I performed not at the Kennedy Center, but I've done the Memorial Day thing at Capitol building and everything. So Memorial. So that's not the Kennedy Center proper, but I have a long history with that, and I think it is absolutely horrendous what is happening. I think it's horrendous, and this is not a judgment on anyone else who because I think people have their reasons for it. Wanting to be there, and maybe being there as a sign of protest against all of that. I don't know. You have to speak to different people. But for me personally, I think it is, as someone wrote, I think it is a desecration.
Well, I'll tell you this: if you come sing at my shul, I will put your name. It will be the Darius de Haas Temple Sons of Bitches. Absolutely.
I think that's perfect. But here's the other thing on that thing, because I think it's an act of Congress that has to approve the name, which
it may not go through. It's not official.
It's not official. So the fact that this is happening and curiously quiet in in terms of what I see, I think this is like, okay, well, y'all are just letting this man have his folly and just doing whatever you want. But I cannot imagine that people are really gung-ho for that. I just can't imagine that. So absolutely not. No. As long as no. If I were asked to do a Kennedy Center, and I would love to do the Kennedy Center honors. I would love to do the Kennedy. I will not do it.
Certainly not in the next 3.5 years. I mean, you don't know what'll, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no one's beating down my door, but no, I absolutely not.
Well, we have been honored with the presence here of Darius de Haas. Let us remind everyone that you can hear him and his wonderful voice singing songs from his album, Let Me Carry You, this Christmas. Was it Concord? How do you get the album? Where do you get the thing?
You can get it, you can get it many ways. It is on Concord Theatricals. Thank you for bringing that up. Yes, record on Concord Theatricals through my friend Sean Vlahaven, who is the head of Concord, chief executive officer, whatever. But also you can get it through your streaming. If you're a streamer, you can get it, through the Spotify. You can get it through Amazon. You can get it through all the streamers. And it's just streaming and album. Like the vinyl, because vinyl is making a comeback. So yes, for all you vinyl collectors, you can.
This is made of vinyl right here. It's like a yarmulke.
See, there you go. So you're primed and ready. And you can also order it through ConcordTheatricals.com as well. But yes, it is out in the world through whatever your particular fancy is, and it'll be out there.
Well, we fancy Darius de Haas here in the Daverhood. We want to thank you so much for your time, your wonderful stories, your great energy, your great music. Please come back, do more shows in New York and all around the country. And maybe come back to Broadway if you can. I know.
Yes, I would love to.
Very quickly, is anything happening? It got such great reviews out in Pittsburgh. You were in this musical about Billy Strayhorn.
Yes.
And it didn't just get like meh. I mean, it looked like, hey. So is anything happening?
That was a very great, passionate project. It is on pause at this time. Just because we're in a difficult time, I think. Just in terms of getting funding and getting all those things, and because of many extenuating factors. But it is still. It just went through a rewrite. And so it is still in development and just trying to find, just the right home. We need another run, I think, in place. So there was, interest in a couple of.
Come do it at my shul. Do it at Temple Sons of Bitches.
We love it because, Billy Strayhorn is, just, I think, the penultimate. And I would love to bring that show to your shul. And beyond.
And beyond. And we are beyond delighted to have been with Darius de Haas. Have a most wonderful holiday time with your husband, with your mom, for God's sakes, with everyone around you. Be well, be wonderful, and shalom to you.
Shalom.
Rabbi Sol Solomon and Darius de Haas in the Daverhood on this Saturday, December 27th, 2025. Not our last Dave's Gone By episode of the year. We still have one coming up, as we often do, as we have for many years now, on New Year's Eve. This coming Wednesday night, we will be back with you from probably about 10 o'clock until 12:30, as usual. Still figuring out what we're going to do. We're not going to go so big as we have in past years of getting all these guests and there's this nonstop traffic going in. But at the same time, how will we fill 2.5 hours of material? Maybe we'll start at 11 or something. I don't know. We'll do something. So if you're not out there partying, what do they have? We're at the gym yesterday, and they have the array of TVs that you could watch while you're pedaling on the treadmill and the exercycle things. And one of them, unfortunately or fortunately, is Fox News. They have one for CNN, but amazingly, the sound doesn't work in the earplugs. So you're kind of stuck with either Fox News or HGTV or some bad video channel. I mean, 10 TV screens and there's nothing to watch. So I'm hoping, and they have best stories of the year on Fox. Fine, whatever. And what did they mention? But they did have a cute little segment about people avoiding New Year's Eve out and New Year's Eve parties like the plague, and saying, like 25% of people say they would rather get a root canal than go to a New Year's Eve party, which is like, I don't know. Both my wife and I have had root canal, not fond of dental work, but I think I would still rather go to a party than actually get root canal.
Is that true? People don't know what that is. They're just saying it.
Yeah, or even
You
a
actually
filling.
had it.
Yeah.
Well, root canal's not painful. Years ago it was.
Once
Now
they give you the shots, it's
they
fine.
give you the meds. You
Yeah.
get the meds.
I mean, the shots are a little bit like, but
You get the meds.
yeah. But no, I mean, I would not. Even a filling, I would choose a party over a filling. Even a party with really loud polka music, I would choose over getting a filling. But they said that, and also just a huge percentage will not be watching TV. A large percentage of people go to sleep before midnight on New Year's Eve. There's no great big thing about staying when you're a child. It's the biggest thing in the world because you're not allowed to stay up late anytime. And then says, oh, the new year is coming, the New Year's Day, it's going to be here.
I remember with my grandmother and grandfather, my grandpa would eat herring and for the New Year, and I thought it was disgusting.
This is when you could still have fish, or you didn't know you were allergic.
I didn't eat it. My grandfather would.
Yeah, what is that? Herring is delicious. I love herring.
It was disgusting. I was like, Grandpa, you want to eat that? He's like, it's delicious. And we'd have to get it from the New Year's. And I was like, every New Year's, I'm like, are you sure he wants it this year? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh,
and ironically for me, in this year, I've become hard of herring. My mother loves to tell the story, though, of that I don't know how old I was, but I was, old enough that I was still going to sleep at 9 o'clock at night. But I was like, wake me
You're
up.
probably 25.
But I was like, wake me up for the New Year. Wake me up for 10 to 12. I want to see the balls run, whatever. I want to be there for the beginning of the thing. Wake me up, wake me up, wake me up. Probably 5 or 6 years old. So they go to wake me up.
Yeah.
And I'm like out of it. And I just puncture. And they left me alone. I guess he needs to sleep.
You were such a charming child.
And then I woke up and I said, why didn't you wake me for New Year? I was like, you punched me.
God.
And then they found the camel that kicked me in the head. No, but
Maybe you were the camel.
maybe.
Past life.
But anywho, we still have a bit more to do on this episode of Dave's Gone By live on this Saturday, December 27th, 2025. Our episode called Haas AFIRE in honor of our guest Darius.
That was a really good interview.
He was great. He was really
interesting. I mean, Marie gave him I don't know if she wrote on. Give me your thing. Let me look.
You have my thing.
Oh, here. Okay.
Oh, or it's over there. Yeah.
She gave he got some love on the.
Oh,
Facebook.
she give him a heart. She give him an eggplant, maybe.
No, in the comments.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I don't think that's one of the emojis. Oh wow, Miley Cyrus has a polyp on her vocal cord.
Ooh. Okay.
She's been singing since she was a baby.
So I hope she's fine.
Oh, she's really so funny.
What?
She said she wishes her home was so well organized.
Because of those books on the shelves. Yeah.
Everyone is impressed about
So, still to come on this episode of the Dave's Gone By Show, our Colorado Limerick of the Damned and Rabbi Sol Solomon. We don't generally repeat things on the program because anybody can go on our website, davesgoneby.com, at any time, and also on YouTube and also on archive.org to get our older material. I could just point you to it and say, hey, we did this back in 2000, whatever, go find it. And if you wanted to listen to it, you could, as opposed to taking current time and playing something we've already done. Even though it's very likely, if it was years ago, the person watching right now might not have encountered it or heard it. And that kind of also went back to when we were on terrestrial radio or even paying for time. It's like, I'm doing, the old stuff we have. It's in the archives. Anybody can see it. We're here to do brand new. But, there is perspective. If my wife and I are at some point going to watch, not You Bet Your Life. What's the word? What was the movie we were just talking about? With It's a Wonderful Life. Again, we've both seen the film more than once over the years, but it has a new perspective.
Massage at the gym. You're getting massaged. You're getting massaged your heads, David.
No, but it's sort of like, so there is, when amount of years go by and your life goes by, checking in on older things, there's a part of like, why am I wasting my time seeing something that I've already seen when there's so much new that I've never seen? At the same time, there's a comfort, there's a nostalgia, and there's also a whole different sort of perspective of who you are now watching something than there was when you first encountered it, right? So, even though it's been only 12 months since last year, last December, when Rabbi Sol Solomon did his rabbinical reflection for the end of last year, I checked in on it, I went looking on it. I was speaking of Rabbi Sol Solomon, who is sometimes, he's also brilliant some other times, I think. It's interesting to know how much has gone down over the past 52 weeks from where we were just a year ago. The things that he was predicting, the things that he was talking about then, the things that we didn't know happened, that didn't know happened, not to mention remembering all the folks that passed last year, as opposed to the many celebrities and folks who died this year that Rabbi Sol will eulogize and memorialize in his upcoming 200th rabbinical reflection that we will play on our special New Year's show. So you got to be there Wednesday night for that, at the very least. So we're going to share our screen again and go for the older one. Let's see if maybe I can get rid of that time counter if I just show it on davesnotlife.com and
why don't you just don't take when you open it?
Send my sites down. Oh no, because I spelled it wrong.
Do me a favor.
Yeah.
When you click on it, click on options like view and view using.
Click on a file. Let me see.
When you get on the file.
Let me get the file out.
I'm not on camera.
No, yeah, I'll warn you.
Okay.
My hand is here.
So now, can you click on it? And can you right click it?
Well, here, if I.
Oh no, go back.
So I'll kill it. Okay,
Yeah.
and right click this.
Open with.
And
then do.
Oh, QuickTime maybe or.
Try it. I don't know if that's the one that does it. No.
That'll do.
See if there's another one.
Okay.
I'm getting very dizzy here. Open with.
Open with.
Yeah.
Hold on. I'm open with.
And
then
try.
Options include what?
Yeah, I can't see.
Other.
Yeah.
Let me try applications that I can open with books. I don't think so. Notes, music. That'll just be audio. The TV app.
No. Try
Right.
it.
All right. Well, we'll try the TV app. Let's see if it'll open. Whoa. Okay. Well, yeah, that'll work. That's interesting. The TV app.
I don't know what that is.
It's a Mac thing. I've never used it.
It's probably your two.
All right, now I have to get back to it somehow. I have to figure out how to find it. Is there another window? Bring all to front. Where did it go?
Where?
Well, no, because I want to see it.
Okay.
Or maybe it was here?
Probably there.
No, let's see.
Where is it?
I may have to reopen it again with the thing.
Yeah.
Because I got to share screen
Get
too.
rid of that little. Was that QuickTime?
Well, that's QuickTime. QuickTime was
you don't want that.
was this, so we're going to kill that.
Yeah. Can you see me? You can't see me, right?
No.
Okay.
Okay, and then.
Apple TV.
Oh, maybe
there.
Where? Show me.
Here. Click.
No, not now.
You can just open a file there. A file.
I'll do it again. I'll just open the same file again.
Just a file.
Yeah. Import, convert. No.
Go on to.
No, let me just open it again the same exact way,
Yeah.
and that'll do it. So,
And then
but how do I
that-
shrink it?
I'll
Open
help you.
with.
Oh, I got it. It's not good for me in this position here. Okay.
I swear, folks, this will be worth waiting for.
You don't see me, right?
Yeah. So here's, but how can I can make it?
Yeah.
Minimize it. Stop it! Stop! Okay, I can make it like this.
Yes.
Okay. Whew. Well done, my darling. I guess I'll have to start using Apple TV for these things, because it is annoying when we're watching these pre-recorded interviews. Yeah, so I'm going to share my screen. This is Rabbi Sol Solomon from, it was probably recorded a few days earlier, but this was broadcast first on our New Year's episode last December 31st, 2024, of Rabbi Sol doing his rabbinical reflection to end the year 2024. So just give me a mo to once again share my screen. I'm hoping this will work. Should work. Make this really big. And here's Rabbi Sol again.
Shalom, damn it.
This is Rabbi Sol Solomon with a rabbinical reflection for the end of the year 2024. You'd think from the punims of everybody walking around or jabbering on TV that this was the worst year ever, that 1861 and 1929 and 1939 and 2020 were nothing compared to the hellscape that was 2024. But really, unless you were personally touched, God forbid, by some horrible tragedy, or you're a health conglomerate CEO and your bodyguard just quit, this past year was just another year. The rich got richer, and we all fetched about inflation. But unemployment was low, Wall Street robust, the economy booming. Complain about illegal immigrants all you want, but are you going to pick the fruit? And whatever you think of Luigi, American healthcare remains astronomical, inhuman, and indefensible. But if you made it through the year without dropping dead, the system worked. If you think I'm joking, remember that just 4 years ago, 1 million people died of COVID. Now we're all sighing, just how many boosters do I need? Especially since the CEO of Pfizer made $33 million in 2022, but $10 million less the year after. If his salary goes below 20 mil, look for the polio booster to acquire a sudden urgency. But again, it's nice that COVID was no longer a nightmare, just a lingering annoyance, like Ukraine. We want Zelensky to outlast Putin, but at this point, it's not even Russians versus Russians. It's Grumman versus Lockheed Martin, for which mass murderer gets the biggest Christmas bonus. Before you despair, however, note that 2024 was also the year that Jew haters on university campuses slithered out of their green tents to discover nobody was listening anymore. Those left-wing peaceniks, many of them Jewish, spent months defaming Israel for just trying to survive. Meanwhile, these delusional dimbulbs ignored every African, Arab, Latin, Asian country that wouldn't know a human right from a traffic light. Protesters made so much noise early on, breaking into buildings, stalling traffic, spraying graffiti. Celebrities wore their free Gaza pins, while the squad wept for terrorists. But as Bibi Netanyahu cautioned the world on October 7th, the year before, Israel will keep fighting until complete victory. That means getting all the hostages back and racking up more Hamas leaders on kebab sticks. Happily, most Americans get this. They remember 9/11 and decades of hijackings, bombings, and beheadings perpetrated by the radical Muslim world. Some Americans even realize that thanks to Israel kicking butt, Syria ditched its dictator, and the Iranian Ayatollah is watching his asshola. But try explaining that to a 19-year-old communications major whose knowledge of history begins with Avatar and ends with The Matrix. And yet, despite all the static, voters re-elected the president, the previous president, Donald Trump, vilified by the Democrats, mystifying to everyone else that Donald will somehow return as the 47th leader of the free world. And why not? He was shot in the head, and his brain was still in better shape than Joe Biden's. Look, Biden's been a decent president. It's his party that was the pooper. No one cares about DEI when the national debt is an IOU. Liberals weep over Palestinian refugees and then shrug when illegal aliens set fire to women on the F train. And while trans people deserve the same rights as everyone else, they don't deserve double the rights just because they've got two sexes inside them. So enough with the special bathrooms, build affordable housing, and then let the trannies decide which room they want to take a dump in. But again, let's not dump on 2024, a year that gave us a cool solar eclipse, an adorable pygmy hippo, respect for women's basketball, mostly played by real women, and artificial intelligence answering every question we could possibly ask, up to and including, does this look infected? The real downside of the year, as with every year, is losing great people. Actors, musicians, writers, their work lives forever. They don't. So here's a poetic tribute to the passings of paragons. We lost Chris Christopherson and all his fine rhymes. Farewell to John Amos, and yes, for the good times. We'll miss Quincy Jones and his tuneful panache. So long, Donald Sutherland, whose mash was a smash. There's Dame Maggie Smith, for whom we are pining, and Shelley Duvall, up in heaven, now shining. The laughs have left Fernwood, so long, Martin Mull. At least O.J. Simpson is now just a skull. Bonsoir, Richard Simmons, to the oldies he's sweatin'. Pete Rose was called home. Bet he's up there now, bettin'. Ta-ta, Terry Garr, you were Frankenstein's girl. And we lost two Joneses, Quincy and James Earl. Steve Lawrence has now joined Edie Gourmet. Alas, Willie Mays will no longer say hey. No more shall Richard Lewis comedically fret, and adieu, Olivia Hussey, jolie Juliet. Both West Side and East Side miss Cheetah Rivera, and Bob Newhart's gone, the end of an era. Charles Osgood filled us with homespun truth, and we learned about Nookie from old Dr. Ruth. So sad that Phil Donahue has asked his last question. We mourn Morgan Spurlock's supersized indigestion. We pine for Paul Auster and all his fine fictions. Is Kreskin in heaven telling God all his predictions? Peter Marshall, Chuck Woolery, those affable hosts have joined Roger Corman. All three are now ghosts. And so, adios to our friends who are gone. The rest of us, what can we do but go on? But try to find joy in being alive. Shalom 24, Shalom 25. This has been a rabbinical reflection from Rabbi Sol Solomon, Temple Sons of Bitches, in Great Neck, New York. Happy Jew Year! So Rabbi Sol Solomon there. Oh, how do I stop the share on this? Here we go. Rabbi Sol Solomon from 12 months ago. That was his rabbinical reflection number 190 that we aired on our New Year's program, December 31st, 2025. 24, excuse me. Be with us December 31st, 2025, just a couple of days from now, when we will bring Rabbi Sol back with a brand new look back at the old rabbinical reflection too. So, it is about 22:12 Eastern Time here in the Daverhood. We have our friends of the Daverhood to do, as well as our Colorado Limerick of the Damned, where we will be going to Chester, Colorado. So, before we do that, as promised, let me if you can get the word up on your phone or my phone, whichever. It is today's word of.
Apropos, I have to get rid of the comment on your thing from the
Yeah, no, please do that. I'll do that up here then.
I'll do that here. I'll do it quickly.
Cool. Because Dave's Big Dictionary is something that we started several years ago as a way to kind of force me out of my comfort zone a little bit, because it would be, hey, here's a word that you weren't expecting.
Merriam-Webster's word of the day.
And you have to talk about it for 5 or 7 minutes.
Word of the day.
And be amusing if you can, or clever, or just interesting. Whatever comes into your head when you're told this word. Just go. And I'm going to do that. So the word of the day, we for a while, it was kind of fun. We would go through a dictionary and thumb through it and just point randomly at whatever the word was in the dictionary. But then Merriam-Webster kind of took that away from us and said, hey, we do a word of the day. We pick a word and then we give you information about it and the definition and stuff. So that's what we're doing instead. And that's not why, but now it is appropriate for what we do, because what we do is, shall we say, apropos to Dave's Big Dictionary. Extra, tell all about it. It's Dave's Big Dictionary. Yeah, so Dave's Big Dictionary it is, and the word is apropos. A-P-R-O-P-O-S. There's a silent S on the end of that there. What it means. Apropos is used as a preposition to mean with regard to. Frequently used is in the phrase apropos of. So, Sean interrupted our conversation about politics and, apropos of nothing, asked who we thought would win the basketball game, which I'm guessing should be who will win, right. As an adjective, it describes something that is suitable or appropriate, as in an apropos nickname. Did you know that apropos wears its ancestry like a badge? Or perhaps, I clicked on the wrong thing to get rid of it, and instead it put up the advertisement. Thank you. Here we go. From the French phrase apropos, meaning to the purpose. The word's emphasis lands on the last syllables, silent S, da-da-da. Typically functions as an adjective which is suitable, something suitable or appropriate. With regard to, it can also mean like apropos the decision or of the decision. Enough. Where's it from?
Replacement word for it.
Let's see. If I had a synonym, I wish it had the. Well, this is French. It was a French derivation. Apropos.
I'm going to ask on my TV.
Yeah, please. Anywho, but that is the word of the day.
What are some English synonyms for the French word apropos? Relevant, pertinent, apt, suitable, opportune, timely, material, germane, and apposite. By the way, incidentally, speaking of which.
Apropos, yeah. So
it would be like, by the way, incidentally, or speaking of which.
So something relatively connected to, or relevantly connected to
In passing.
something. Yeah. So my job on Dave's Big Dictionary is to
I always thought it meant opposite because of the A.
No, apposite is different from opposite. Apposite means it's appropriate for.
No, I thought it meant I thought.
Oh, it's like apro.
Word means like opposite in French. I didn't know.
No. So. Okay, so what gets the wheel spinning is, and I alluded to this earlier in the show, that one of the great things about doing this kind of podcast and doing the radio before, especially when I had time to really stretch out, as I have over the past decade or so, instead of having just an hour, but having time and time, is, when there's a certain synergy, when I will talk about something early in the program, and then an hour and a half later, unexpectedly, there will be something I will have pre-planned but forgotten about, or some other thing will come through on a feed or a scroll or we're talking about, and suddenly, just by sheer wonder, the thing that I was mentioning 2 hours earlier pops up again, and or something related to it, appropriate to it, apropos of what I was talking about. And it's like that wonderful moment. It's like, oh my God, or I would play a song back when we were on college radio. I'd play, and then like an hour later, someone would bring up something, and it's like, oh my God, we literally, that song was just about that. Whoa! So that feeling of, aha, things connecting, things having this unexpected, like, I did this, and out of the blue, this became, and we're seeing more and more of that through AI, because what will happen is you'll surf something or you'll look something up to buy on the interwebs or something to watch, and then by the next morning, Amazon is trying to sell you the same thing you were looking up, or the ads that you will get is like, oh, you were looking up air conditioners, and hey, here's some air conditioners for you, and you weren't really even looking up to buy any, but somehow some computer thing saw what we were doing and was like, aha, you must be interested in this, which is what Facebook feeds and Twitter feed and X feeds are programmed now to do, to keep you clicking on the things that it thinks you want to see over and over and over again. They're apropos of what is in your gut and your instincts at that moment. But at the same time, you know, as a performer, as a creative person, and just as a guy, I'm also someone who has spent many, many times brooking what is the appropriate thing for the occasion. I went for an interview a few months ago, and I can't remember the last time I wore a tie. Can you?
Wow.
When was the last time I wore a tie?
I don't know. Maybe at one of your cousin's weddings.
Maybe something like that. Maybe, yeah. Or even then, if I was in a tux, I would have a bow tie or something. But have not worn a tie that I can recall. Daily, I think when I was working at one or two magazines, I did. I think it was just part of the dress code there. I think I had to wear a friggin' tie. I hated it. But then I went for this gig, and it was a teaching gig at this weird place. And I came in, I thought, you know what? I'm going to look nice. I'm going to wear a suit. I'm going to throw on a suit jacket over nicely bespoke shirt,
Nice.
pants, nice shoes. And one of the first things that I met with, like, the head principal, mucky muck, major domo of this loony place, and some of the other people there. And he said, well, you know, we're suit and tie people here. I mean, we all wear suits and ties and no beards. Like, even the women? No beards. No beards. And, you know, I was more inclined to be okay with the beard thing than, but, you know, he seemed to clock the idea that I wasn't wearing a tie. Nobody goes for a suit and tie and interviewing. You wear something nice and dressy and appropriate.
I'm sure they do, David. I think people do.
Really? I mean, I'm not going for a CEO position.
I know.
So I knew already, and especially when I said, you know, I'm generally not a suit and tie kind of guy. You know?
You really know how to win over it. You really don't want to work, do you? It's clear. You're like...
No, because I would have worked there. It would have been weird, but I would have worked there if they hired me.
No, because you blew the interview. You know how to blow.
I didn't blow the interview. I was absolutely nice and charming and candid and smart and honest and all these cool things, but too honest. I should have just said, oh, yes, my tie was in some soup last night, and that's why I'm not wearing it this morning, or something. As opposed to, yeah, I mean, but, you know, I'll certainly wear a tie if you give me this stupid fucking job, which I should have said, or words to that effect that I did make. Didn't get the job, you know. So, apropos of not being on terrestrial radio, fuck him, I hope he dies. But, you know, there was a moment when I could have, I guess, been more apropos, or could have just gone in there in a proper suit and tie. It's not me, you know? I look good in a suit and tie, for me. As good as I can look. I look a little taller, I guess, in the proper thing. And I don't mind wearing a suit jacket. It feels kind of nice. But a tie just feels like it goes up into my throat. I have a bad gag reflex.
You can't wear a loose one?
Loose is tough, because it's not the tie itself. It's the button that you have to close at the top of the shirt.
So can't you leave that open and just do the tie?
Oh, if I tell you over the years, either doing that with a tie where this isn't closed and it doesn't look right, or they have these collar extender button things where you hang an extra button from the button on your shirt. Is there even one on this? Yeah. So it makes it longer so you have a little more neck room on your... I'm like, Jesus. If only, you know... If only we were French and we wore cravats or something else. Dickie, I would wear a dickie.
Oh, wow.
and no, not, yes, that, yeah, no. But I do have a habit sometimes of, you know, being incredibly appropriate 99% of the time, and the one time I'm inappropriate, I'm off the charts. That also tends to be my modus operandi of being like really forced, hemmed in, you know, crushed, suffocated, all these things, and feeling like a pressure cooker, and being absolutely rule-towing, best student ever, best worker ever, most understanding and empathetic and whatever soul I try to be and put on. And then like 1% of the time it's like, fuck this. Oh, really? Really? I gotta say that. I've gotta be that. Which is what has made me a playwright, which is what has made me a songwriter and a podcaster. But at the same time, may have kept me from being president of the United States or running a law firm or, being God knows what. God knows, being a decent person. Going on as opposed to an artist. It's kept me from being a really fine human being, let me say. So, whatever, it's me. And apropos of nothing, that is my take on this week's Dave's Big Dick Shinary on Dave's Gone. But, I took the music away. I was going to play the music. Don't have to. I'm going to play some Mozart instead because we're coming up to our next segment, Friends of the Daverhood. Now, see, we were talking about musical copyrights. I don't get dinged for playing classical music, even though that's Trevor Pinnock, the recorded version, Trevor Pinnock and the English Concert doing Mozart Symphony No. 6 in F, in Kerkel 43, by the way, number 2. That was the second section, the Andante. Just in case there's any classical music stations listening that want to hire me. Not that there are any more classical music stations anyway. But that is the right music for Friends of the Daverhood. These are people who have been on this very program, Dave's Gone By, not just today, when we were delighted, of course, to have Darius de Haas in the Daverhood, Broadway actor, cabaret and concert performer. Thank you so much, by the way, to Lisa Goldberg, doing the PR of LSG Public Relations, for setting that up with Darius de Haas. And Darius, get his album, Let Me Carry You, this Christmas from Concord Theatrical Recordings, which you can get wherever. Darius de Haas, D-E, space, H-A-A-S, like the avocado. Is it like the avocado? Or no, I think
H-A.
it may be Haas has 2 S's. Yeah.
Is it his real name or stage name? I couldn't figure that
out. I don't know. And thank you to Rabbi Sol Solomon. Remember that he has a website, shalomdammit.com, which is where you can hear and read all his older rabbinical reflections, plus watch his stage show, An Evening with Rabbi Sol Solomon, Shalom Dammit, and his TV show that he did several years ago on Long Island cable television called Shalom Dammit, Rabbi Sol Solomon's Peace, Love, and Acid Reflux Hour, which is only a half hour, and I think is still pretty hysterically funny. So check them all out at Shalom Dammit, D-A-M-M-I-T, shalomdammit.com. But those are the folks who've been on this very episode, our 1013th show. What about the 1012 we've done prior? Where are those people? What are they up to? Well, first of all, I've got to wish a very, very happy birthday yesterday to my Aunt Esther, who is alive and well and living on Long Island, and should have called her yesterday. I forgot. Oops. But we'll try and give her a buzz. But yay, she has been on several of our New Year's shows, wishing us a very happy and the best. I think she was on 1 or 2 of our other programs as well. So love you, Auntie Essie. And then also congratulations to Carol Edmonston. She is Sid Hoff's daughter. I'm pretty sure that's and she was on our show years and years ago. Sid Hoff, of course, the great children's book illustrator. He did all those dinosaurs and things. Well, they've updated the website for the late Sid Hoff. It's sidhoff.com with a lot more content on it, a lot more buying opportunities and things. And it's Sid, S-Y-D, for Sydney, Sid Hoff, HOFF.com. I want to wish congratulations to Bill Rogers. His show, his play, Breaking the Trust, is up for 4 Broadway World nominations for an off-Broadway show, including Best Production and Best Director. So, a big yay there for Bill Rogers and his play. I want to let you know that Joel Sandberg, the grandson of Benny Bell, who's been on this program a couple of times. Joel Sandberg is, you can hear him tomorrow morning, Sunday at 9 on WICC Radio. It's in Connecticut there. And it's just they're giving him an hour. He will take phone calls. He'll talk about what it is for people, life over 50 years old. So do call in, because if it goes really well, they could turn it into a more recurring or permanent spot. So give Joel, and find WICC. You can also listen on the interwebs. WICC Radio for our friend Joel Sandberg. And that's tomorrow morning at 9, if you wanted to listen for an hour. Sunday. And playing now through Sunday, through tomorrow, Sidney Meyer is at Pangea. Sidney Meyer, speaking of Sydney's, Sidney Meyer was the booker for many, many years for Don't Tell Mama. He is now really going into full cabaret mode of his own, and he is doing a show of his at Pangea in New York. Now, through the middle of February, you can see Michael Tucker's play, A Tailor Near Me, at Florida Studio Theater in Sarasota. He did it, I think, off-Broadway. We mentioned that when it was probably at 59 and 59 theaters in New York a few months back. Michael Tucker, of course, you know him from L.A. Law, but he's also become a playwright in later years. So see A Tailor Near Me if you are in Sarasota. Letting you know that, let's see, today, Christine Petty is at the Laurie Beachman Theater doing her cabaret show, Snow Business. And then, I just mentioned Sidney Meyer, so he's doing these things at Pangea. He will be there also doing a New Year's Eve show. So if you want to have a big New Year's Eve celebration with Sidney Meyer, it's going to be at Pangea this Wednesday evening. Of course, if you don't go see him Wednesday evening, you'll be watching our show. Also that Wednesday, Marcus Goldhaber is holding court at Faina, which is a club on West 18th Street. Goldhaber is a jazz singer, and he's got a jazz combo with him. So if you would like to do that, also, that is another New Year's Eve entertainment show that you can see on New Year's. Evan Seplow is the founder and editor of StageBuddy.com. Vicky Quaddy does her shows like Late Night Catechism and Christmas Bingo, which I guess she's still doing this week, out in Chicago. David Sheward writes theater reviews for TotalTheater.com. David Kenny has a show on WBAI Radio Sunday evenings called Everything Old is New Again. Darren DeVivo is on WKZE Radio Friday evenings with his show Noises from the Valley. Eva Heineman reviews theater on her program High Drama, which you can watch both on Facebook and on YouTube. Shout out to Charlie Gross and Leslie Hoban Blake, who co-host Two on the Aisle, a theater review show that you can also watch on YouTube. And want to let you know, let's see, who else of our, remember that even though Dr. Demento is, that one of the big stories of the year is that Dr. Demento retired this year after doing a couple of special shows and countdowns and a Halloween show. But his archives are still available at drdemento.com. Years and years and years of his shows for a small fee, going all the way back to the 1970s to his very final episode from just a few weeks ago. So a big shout out to Barrett Hansen and a career well done. And those, my friends, are the friends of the Daverhood. How pretty. So, Oh my God, it's after 12, ladies and gentlemen, Eastern time. I said when we started this program, I said this is one of those where I didn't go in with a lot of prepared stuff. I mean, there was some, obviously. But how am I going to fill even 2.5, let alone 3 hours of material when I got nothing? Nothing, very little to even talk about from the week. Nothing, and here we are, past the 3-hour mark, and not quite yet finished with the episode of the show, because we have one thing more to cap off this December 27th, 2025, our very final Colorado Limerick of the Damned of the year. Oh, my wife is just so thrilled and excited about this. So we lived in Colorado for more than a decade a few years back. And while I was there, I just started writing a limerick about as many different places in Colorado as I could find on the map or on lists on Wikipedia. Places that were real places, but sometimes they're ghost towns. They haven't existed in 100 years, but they were once. And also towns that are still around and walkable and available neighborhoods. Basically, if you could, at one point in the past 200 years, find it on a map of Colorado somewhere, and it's rhymable with something, I will try to make a poem out of it. So this week I have found Chester, Colorado. Chester, Colorado. Which, apropos of absolutely nothing and by sheer coincidence, my wife and I this week, on the recommendation of our dentist, ended up watching a Netflix series about Chester A. Arthur. I mean, it was really more about John Garfield.
About the killer.
But the story was as much about the guy who was his vice president.
Yes, he was kind of...
Painting a really crappy picture of Chester Arthur, I gotta tell you. Played by the guy from Parks and Rec. What's his name? I forget his name. It's really good. But, no, I mean, again, just didn't even remember that until this moment when I looked at, Chester.
Was that apropos?
And it was apropos because we've been watching this show about the ascent after Garfield's death of crappy Vice President Chester A. Arthur.
You just like it because it sounds like B. Arthur.
Oh, B. If you can't be good, be Arthur. But ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Chester and then read a poem, and then you will be free of our Limerick of the Damned for the week. Oh, that! Oh!
I didn't want to do it. I moved it.
Why can't that one run out of batteries? Oh, Lord.
That one never will.
Here's our Colorado Limerick of the Damned.
A limerick is a comic verse of 5 lines, in which lines 1, 2, and 5 will end with words that rhyme, and likewise verses 3 and 4 also end with words that rhyme. So this is a limerick.
Yes, it's a high we get here on Dave's Gone By on our Limerick of the Damned. Today we found the Kalama. Oh no, here we go. We couldn't find them before. It's no longer Hanukkah, by the way. It's over a couple of days ago. Oh, that does remind me. We didn't talk about it. Yeah. Thank you. Okay, so there's San Kalama. Actually, that we can, you know what? Let me do the limerick, and then we can talk about the Benora, because we used it, and we were using it up through last Sunday, so...
I'll get you a picture.
Gotta go, yeah. Anyway, Colorado Limerick of the Damned, we go to Chester, Colorado. Let me tell you, not a lot to talk about it. It's an unincorporated community in south-central Colorado in Saguache County. Okay. Not too far from Gunnison. So if you've heard of that or you know where that is, that's where it is. It's a mountainous place. about 1.5 miles elevation, and it's really near or part of the Chester Fault line, so it's got tons of rocks and minerals. Yeah, and that's all I have to tell you about Chester, Colorado. So I'm going to do more for Chester than anybody else has ever done, because it's just barely on the map. Now I'm putting it on the map with a terrible poem about Chester, Colorado, our Colorado Limerick of the damned. Ahem. Steer clear of that weirdo from Chester. There isn't a girl he won't pester. As if in a trance, he'll wait for his chance, then whip out his dick and molest her. So if you have a problem with that, or with anything we do on this program, if that was not apropos for family listening, remember that you can... Oh no! You can write to me. davesgoneby@aol.com. davesgoneby@aol.com. Or you can post right on our Facebook page, whether under a thing or just message me. And let me know. Let us... just get that away. Ah! Stop touching it! That's what my mom used to say. But anywho, God, this was the first night of Hanukkah more than a week ago. We used every night, I'm very proud of us, in our little home here in northern Maryland. We stop it! This was the menorah. And if you go on Facebook, you'll see a lot of people using this thing. It is a Hanukkah menorah shaped like a banana that they call a menorah. And it's made out of real... Jesus Christ, that music! Now, I think my wife's going to go in. It's under the TV in the other room. And we were wondering how well it would work. Because it is obviously not a traditional candelabra, but it does work for the purpose. It's got a place for the shamash, the head candle, with which you light all the other 8 candles of the holiday, over 8 days, at least in America. I wonder if it's 8 days in Israel, too. It's not one of those that has the extra... Anywho, so here I am lighting the menorah, and here is the menorah and the menorah box. Thank you very much. Oh, sure. So that's what it is. And it even has the dole-like sticker on it. And my wife was really, I've got to say, I was the guy lighting and doing the prayers and stuff, but she was the one, especially towards the end of the holiday, trying to clean this out. We use this every single day of the holiday. And we were worried about 2 different things. First of all, it warns you that these holes are not particularly deep, so you can't do pretty tall candles. And even some of the candles that you get, unless you melt them a little bit on the bottom, they are a tipping hazard. If there's any little gust of wind from an air vent, you kind of see the candle going woo, and a little terrifying if you don't want to set the house on fire. Here's our warning. For use with maximum of... Do you think Jews are using this, or Polish people? Do not, for use with a maximum of 9 candles. It's like, who? Only a Polish person would be like, I can light the back at the same time. I mean, do not use with a candle greater than 5 inches tall. That is a legit thing, because some of the candles they give you, they're pretty, but they're 7 inches. Men tell women they're 9 inches, but that's different. And do not have this product unattended while in use. Sensible. Keep out of reach of children and pets.
Oh, God.
And then, by the way, further instructions. These are real. They're not trying to be funny, except for the shape of this thing. This is a real instruction here. Do not add water. If you're lighting a candle, I mean, maybe some people put candles floating. I don't know.
Oh, like floating, yeah.
But no.
But they might put it like in a dish of water.
Look, it's ceramic. It's
I
gonna.
know.
Do not melt on stovetop or in non-approved appliances. What?
Like, don't put it in the oven. It's not food. You can't bake it.
Yes, Polish viewers, it is not food. Use only in well-ventilated areas away from flammable materials. Yes. Yes. We have personal experience with that one. Yeah. And what's really interesting is it's from the company making this is Kickerland, which has 3 Ks very, very close together for a Jewish product.
Well, I kept thinking it was.
And it's also rather close to Kikerland, so that's a little disturbing too.
I mean, I know I want you to look it up on your phone.
Oh, yeah, of course.
You got to pack it in the box nicely.
But anyway, look at,
Tell them where we got it.
Oh, this we bought, did we buy in Boston?
Look on the back. No, look on the back of the box.
I'm the Polish guy. I got kicked in the head by a banana. Let's see.
Menorah.
Yeah, it was tried in Boston. Yeah. Fits 9 candles. Candles were not included. But, we were worried. I was pretty worried because after the first 3-4 days, the wax would melt and drip on the thing, and there was wax, and it was tough to get out of the holes. But my wife did a really fine job, and you were using, what are those?
Baby wipes.
Baby wipes.
I know.
Not to get these to this, you needed a tweezer, but to get the sides off, baby wipes. To get candle wax off a menorah. Who knew? Okay. So menorah is a ceramic menorah in the shape of a banana. Neither the banana nor the joke will ever get old. It's basically a miracle. The design, I'm not kidding about this, E for effort, or that's probably the company. Yeah. Material, it is ceramic, it's in a color box. So it's a very cool thing. And we had a fine time using our menorah this Hanukkah.
People said it was easy to clean, that's what.
Yeah, which, if you've ever had a menorah for 100 years in a Jewish family, that one of these silver jobbies, and the thing on the sides and the drip, and you can't get at it, and you're poking at it, and it's tarnished. Oh, no.
You gotta read the reviews. Read the first review.
5 stars. This is a verified review on the Kickerland site.
Yes.
Love menorah for my grandson.
Aww,
okay.
Yes.
Love menorah for my 2-year-old grandson. He can say banana. So, and this could be interpreted so wrong. Yeah. So he appreciated the candles in his banana.
Keep reading them.
That sounds like a Jeffrey Epstein.
Better.
The menorah is awesome. My family and friends all love it. Bought this so I could celebrate Christmaka. It's exactly as depicted, and I adore it. Fun design. Cutest menorah, fast shipping, love it. Gotta be a Jew. Fast shipping, this is good. As pictured, fun and silly and kitschy and beautifully designed. I converted, this is great, from John Smithbergstein. I converted just to use this. Shalom Aleichem, I saw this and I knew I had to have it, but I wasn't Jewish. Yet I took a course online and converted just to be able to use this. Gauche? Yes. Tacky? Yes. A tchotchke we don't need? Yes. But none of that matters because it was appealing to me. Oh, this will be part of my house decor all year round. I love the fun it infuses in my living room. Okay. Let's see some more.
Oh no, is that the one? Yeah.
Well, this is from a woman, thank God. Yeah. There was one Hanukkah when our daughters were little and we used bananas. Get your minds out of the gutter. No, it was based on the idea that when someone didn't have, they used a real banana and
it would hold the
screw holes in it.
A banana.
Our natural menorahs became part of our family story. So I plan to surprise our daughters with these at some point in the future to conjure up a happy memory. That's nice. One person complained.
Oh, yeah.
Probably Jewish also. 3 stars. 3 stars for the menorah. I keep pointing at it. It's not on screen here. Not as yellow as the website shows. God damn it!
Who would say that?
They promised canary yellow on my menorah.
Oh, it does look more yellow on the box. Than the
Yeah,
actual-
it is more yellow. The
Yeah,
actual
yeah.
is a more muted kind of.
Yes.
But this looks closer to a real banana. It's a little
It
greenish.
does look like a real banana. They have it. That's probably just a glamour shot.
Oh, you know, probably.
So what did they write? Did the colors all?
Pretty disappointing. I don't want this to fall out. What do I do here? There's a problem now.
Hold on here.
Houston,
Okay, I'll fix
we
it.
have a banana problem.
Well, we have to go back to Boston to get another one. Okay.
Even my 3-year-old said wrong color. Other than that, it's fine.
I don't think a 3-year-old is going to be so picky.
Oh,
Wow, that's pretty.
oh. It would have. Another person would have given it 5 stars, but the glaze is very imperfect and drippy.
No, our glaze is perfect.
Yeah, it's
Look at
beautiful. Maybe they got an
Our
earlier.
glaze is perfect. No, there's still a little.
Oh, really? What? Oh,
No, you can scrape off the wax with your fingernail, but it's really pretty. I think it's gorgeous.
yeah. We had a wonderful
If-
time
I
like
only-
this.
If it looked like a real banana, though, it would have to have some of the the brown spots.
Yeah,
where it's,
exactly.
I think it's beautiful,
Yeah.
and it's easy to clean, and it's not complicated. It's perfect.
My only complaint, because I must have a complaint, is I wish,
Yeah.
and I've said this about women, I wish the
color.
holes were a little deeper.
No, they tell you that don't use it. Don't use them.
But even the candles we were using,
okay.
which were
Yeah,
in the
I
5-inch
understand.
film, it was kind of like setting
Well,
them
maybe
up.
they
I'd
should-
set one,
They
they'd
should
fall
sell
over.
candles for it. Maybe that's what you.
Oh, tell the Menorah company, the
Yeah.
Kickerland company,
Yeah.
sell appropriate candles, just
That's
the
a
right.
good idea.
It's not just height; it's width.
Yeah.
So
well,
they fit,
It has
yeah.
to match it, right? It has to
Yeah.
match. I
So-
think it's great.
I wouldn't give it 5 stars. I'd give it 3.5 to 4 out of 4.
Oh, I'd give it a 5.
You give it a 5?
For humor,
Yeah,
for ease of cleaning,
Mm.
just for fun. The color's really cheery.
yeah.
It's a cheery color.
Yeah, we had a fabulous time with it. I'll use it next year for sure. For sure.
I wish they'd come out with a whole line of fruit menorahs. I like an avocado one.
If you make it big enough,
Like an avocado.
actually, you know what would be a pea pod.
Oh,
That
would
would
be
be
great.
great,
Maybe
wouldn't it?
that'll be the next one, yeah.
A pea, because it's got that. Yeah,
Snap pea could be one, yeah. String bean.
Exactly. Anything of that
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
nature. A gourd. Well, gourd. I'm sure people have used gourds. What else? Coconut would be a real problem. Coconut, you kind of. Yeah, I don't think you could do. Or flat something on and then put anything. If it's
So you'd have to have little ones put together, like tiny little baby coconuts. Well, I'm sure designers have better ways of doing this than we do, honey.
yeah.
I think the good thing was it didn't tip over. It was very sturdy.
Oh, the menorah
Yeah,
itself,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Sometimes when I was setting the my finger would move like this, and the previous candle would fall, and it'd be a pain in the tush. That's why I want them deeper. But
That happens every year, dude.
it does. It happened even in the old menorahs and the normal, the silver
You
ones.
get with your friend who doesn't like the color, right?
But yeah. So overall, considering it's been such an awful year, it was a pretty cool Hanukkah for us. So Mello, took it home. I hope you had a fine Hanukkah celebration, and if you're Goyim watching, I hope you had a
The only
very
thing I
good
regret
Christmas.
is at that bookstore. If we weren't going, if we weren't going home by the Amtrak, our colleague really liked a wrap. It was like a $20 beautiful, almost like a cape or wrap, that I didn't get it for. I would have got it for as a present.
Probably get it on the interwebs.
No, I didn't know. I don't know which one she picked one. It's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
Well, you can ask her.
No, it's too late. But next time.
I'll give her a rap. My name's Dave, and I'm the rave. I get on the show and do much mo. I talk about Chinooka, and I also like hookahs. And no.
Maybe that's time for us to get our little lunchies.
Yeah, well, it's my God, it's 20. I thought it'd be quarter after. It's like almost
11:30?
25 after 12 already.
I thought it was 11 o'clock or 11:30.
No, the show when we're rolling. And my name's not Roland. But yeah, we've done our one. I keep going 2000 because it's the end of 2025. But we've done our 1013th episode of The Dave's Gone By Facebookio, Programmio, Podcastio, all the stream, live on this December 27th, 2025. Remember that you can watch all the older episodes at davesgoneby.com. You can listen to our audio archives at castbox.fm. It's the same shows but you just don't have the video with them because it's a podcast platform. But you can see and watch everything we've done also at our channel at archive.org. We have a YouTube channel where I would say about 90% of our archives are still watchable. They've just, because of copyright issues, there are shows that are no longer available or muted for whatever freaking reason. So really still the best way to watch our show is davesgoneby.com or archive.org. And again, we have separate files for our skits. We have separate, not files, but separate archives for our interviews. Check it out. Just literally, at this point, thousands of hours of Dave-tertainment for ya all. Thank you again to Rabbi Sol Solomon. Go to shalomdammit.com. Thank you again to Darius de Haas. Get his album, Let Me Carry You This Christmas. Thank you to my darling, adorable, and wonderful, and amazing wife. Love you, honey. And thank you to, as I said, thank you to all of you for listening. Please, we will be back. Good Lord willing, the creeks don't rise. Not next Saturday. We're taking next Saturday off. But this coming Wednesday, 10 o'clock, maybe 10:30 if I'm lazy, but 10 o'clock, check us out. I'll post on the Facebook page and davesgoneby.com for our 1014th episode, which will be this year's New Year's show. So we will go from the evening till midnight, past midnight. We'll drop something. It might be a ball. It might be a banana. Who knows? We could tie a string to the banana, have a banana dropping. That would be appealing.
You could take one of the balloons.
Yeah, these saggy balloons. Right, exactly. We're going to do something. We'll have a reason for you to watch and enjoy Dave's Gone By, including Rabbi Sol's special rabbinical reflection. We'll also say farewell to some of the folks that we lost who were in the Daverhood this past year. Or they died this past year, but they were friends of the Daverhood. And who knows what else we'll do. I'd love to have your suggestions. davesgoneby@aol.com or reach me on the Facebook page. And also, what do you need? My phones? Yeah. And then, I also want to remind you, please go to davelefkowitz.org if you want to read my stuff, read my plays, read my song lyrics, read the articles and interviews and journalism that I've done over the years, my theater reviews, just hundreds and hundreds of items. It's a different website from the radio website, davesgoneby.com, davelefkowitz.org. Would love to have more traction there and have more people just reading what I've been doing for 61, almost 62 years of my life. Anyway, hope your lives are going well. Happy, happy, happy upcoming New Year, and we will see you in just a couple of days.
Days gone by, days gone by, days gone by.
What? You want to hear one more dad joke? Okay.
What do you call twins with no arms and no legs holding up the drapes? Kurt and Rod.
Kurt and Rod.
Curtain Rod. Curtain Rod.
Another one.
Yeah. Wow.
Can't run through a campsite. You can only ran because it's past tense.
Come on, I like that one. You can't run through a website. You can only ran because you're past tense. Past tense.
One more.
I know.
These are just really bad.
It's really horrendously bad. Oh my God. One more.
I'm reading a horror story in Braille. Something bad's going to happen. I can feel it.
Yeah. And gone by.